Gary McConville and Kellen Fisher. A midfield two of Sam Field alongside Kenny McLean, the captain, making his 300th appearance. Paris Magoma in front of them, Ali Ahmed on the left, Liam Gibbs on the right, and Matthias Quist-Gorton, the only fit striker available, starts up front. So we are underway. Leeds United in their all white shirts, white shorts and white socks, playing from our left to right. Norwich City in their yellow shirts, bright green shorts and yellow socks, playing from right to left. And Paul Robinson, former Leeds United goalkeeper, alongside me. This has got all the hallmarks of a really good FA Cup clash, but surprised by the changes that Daniel Farke has made. Yeah, do you know what? I wondered what to expect when coming to the ground today. Obviously, you know, deep into the competition, the world famous, the FA Cup, which is a competition that I personally love. And I think that a little bit of gloss has been taken off it in recent years. But I think today, when you see the size of the crowd here in Ellen Road, you see the atmosphere, you'd be forgiven if you mistook it for a Premier League fixture. The atmosphere is lively. I think the only thing that hasn't matched the equivalent of a Premier League fixture is Daniel Farke's team selection. Well, welcome to listeners joining us on BBC World Service. Daniel Farke not in the dugout today. He's serving a one-match touchline ban after that red card at the end of the match against Manchester City. We are still goalless in the opening minute here at Ellen Road. Leeds United of the Premier League taking on Norwich City of the Championship, and Norwich have had an incredible turnaround under new manager Philippe Clement. They've lost 2 of the last 11 games in all competition, as a little slip from Ampadu caused a bit of concern, but Leeds United survive, and Kenny McLean picks up the ball in midfield as Norwich win possession. And when you are a team on form who've moved themselves away from that relegation trouble at the bottom that they faced earlier on in the season, a huge opportunity for Norwich to bring further joy to their season today. I think Norwich have different priorities now. I think you look at the start of the season for Norwich City, it would have been a playoff position. Automatic promotion would have been in the conversation, but actually the really poor start that they had to the season, I think it was all about staying into the Championship, growing and developing. I mean, they're not completely out of the top 6. They're 12 points behind the playoff places, but actually for them now there's no real fear of relegation. They're looking ahead, they're looking forward. They've won 9 of the last 11 in all competitions. Like you say, they're in a really good place, and it's a good time for them to come here to Ellen Road. They will certainly fancy their chances, and even if they don't win, a huge opportunity to test themselves on this good form they're on up against Premier League opposition. As they win possession, it's moved into the midfield. Liam Gibbs getting on it, but it's cut out by Beal, and Leeds have possession. Borna looking for the run of James down that right hand side. It's fallen kindly for Tanaka in the halfway line, and he moves it to the very influential Goodmanson, who instantly starts scampering down that left hand side. He's making good ground under pressure from Gibbs, who gives away the free kick, and Leeds will have an opportunity to swing it into the box from just wide on that left hand side. Yeah, for all the possession that Leeds United had midweek against Sunderland, that was an area that really prospered for them. Goodmanson down the left hand side. I think that's a big reason that Daniel Farke has kept him in the team tonight. He's an attacking threat, he's an old-fashioned fullback. He likes to go around the outside of the defender, tries to put crosses in the box. He's a real threat down that left hand side. He is indeed. He's been playing in more of an advanced position with the wing-back system that Daniel Farke introduced back in September, but he's back in his left-back position, but don't think that will stop him getting forward. He's such a threat down that left-hand side as referee Darren England just sorts out the distance of the Norwich City wall, which is just inside the penalty area from the free kick taker, which will be Sean Longstaff. His right arm is raised, the former Newcastle man, making his 21st appearance since the move to Ellen Road in the summer. Had a calf injury earlier in the season. In it goes, and it's headed away by Sam Field. It will drop though to Goodmanson. Takes the left foot effort. It'll trickle all the way through, and it will be a Norwich City goal kick. Yeah, we talk so much, don't we, about set plays, but it's all about the delivery. You can have all the movement you want in the box, the hustle and the bustle. If the delivery is not quite right, and nothing comes of it, and that was exactly the case for Leeds there. It came out to Goodmanson a long way out, didn't quite connect with the shot the way he would have wanted to. We were both here on Tuesday night, the game against Sunderland, and they had a lot of joy, Leeds, in the wide positions, but they really struggled to find Calvert-Lewin. It was starting up front on that day, so an opportunity perhaps for Pirro to try and find that space and get on the end of some of the crosses, because the the pace that Leeds United have in the wide areas is quite frightening.
Yeah, do you know, even though they were disappointed in that game, I thought they dominated it for large periods. So they had possession, but there was a lot of possession without purpose, not in the right areas. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a striker. I mean, he scored 7 and 6, but actually he's not scored in his last 4 because of the lack of service.
Ali Ahmed doing really well to win the ball on the edge of the area. It's now Paris Magoma and Cresceni, the left back, coming up to get involved as well. Ali Ahmed, who has the most assists in the FA Cup this season heading into this round, and 4 so far in his 2 games, and they are a real threat. Ali Ahmed and Paris Magoma. So much of Norwich's good attacking play comes through them.
Well, the 2 teams play a very, very similar system. The 2 holding midfielders and the wide players, with James and Yonto coming in for Leeds today. It'll be a case of which attacking wide players work better for me.
A mistake by Altanaka, gets the short pass from his goalkeeper just outside the penalty area, looking for the run of Biol, but it goes straight out of play. So possession handed to Norwich in the centre circle. They move the ball down this left hand side with Cresceni looking for options ahead of him. He has one from Ahmed on this left touchline, just stumbles on the ball slightly, has to cut back inside, which he does to Field. Now back on the halfway line with Cordoba, over to the right hand side into Field again, and the burst down the right hand side from McLean is deflected out. It will be a Norwich throw in on that far side though, and they look lively, they look up for it, Norwich.
Yeah, Philippe Clement looks quite happy with them, looking down at him in his technical area, just taking a sip from his bottle of water. He's actually physically bigger in stature than I thought he was. This is the first time that I've commentated on a game with him live. He's quite a size, isn't he?
He is a very tall man. Philippe Clement, the Belgian, who has certainly worked wonders so far since his arrival at Norwich City, previously at Rangers, and before that Monaco, Club Brugge, Genk. He has a strong CV, and I think a few eyebrows certainly raised when he took the job here at Norwich from those that have come across him in the past. But he likes to build a system, build a club ethos, and so far he's getting the best out of those players available to him. Heavy injury list that he's had to contend with since he arrived at the club, as Bornau just launches that one down the right hand side. Dan James, ever willing, will run after it and try and get on the end of it, but it's shepherded away by Field and played inside to Cordoba. And now a chance for Cresceni on this left hand side to get Norwich on the front foot. Ahmed cutting inside, he's surrounded by white shirts but manages to play the ball infield, and now down the right hand side through Gibbs, but that's going to be too much on that pass to get on it. Leeds will win the throw-in, and after 7.5 minutes it's still goalless.
Yeah, I think Norwich have come here with the confidence, haven't they? We spoke about their recent record. I think if this was maybe 10 or 12 games ago, it would have been a different Norwich City that came to Ellen Road, whereas actually they've come here, and it's a phrase that I don't like, the free hit, but actually they've got nothing to lose here, and the form that they're in the league, they're not in danger of relegation now, 11 points clear of the bottom 3. They're a team that are really in form in the Championship, and they come here with a real opportunity to progress in this competition.
They are the in-form team in the Championship since the turn of the year. Norwich City, which feels incredible given the situation under the previous manager Liam Manning, where the club were, the disgruntlement from the supporters. They are now turning out in numbers, 3,000 of them down to our right hand side, making the journey, hoping to see their team reach the quarter-final stage. Long ball over the top, looking for the run of Mecha, but the linesman's flag is up. It will be a free kick to Norwich, and that pace that Leeds have right across that front line looks like something that they might try and exploit today.
We applauded that, Philippe Clement, the Norwich manager, down beneath us. He's quite happy with his team playing a high line, which is quite dangerous against this Leeds side. When we say about the players coming back in, Dan James, William Yonto and Joel Pirot, Leeds have got the pace, but you would think from a Leeds point of view they won't be looking to play on the counter-attack.
We're just looking down at the technical area. Eddie Reiner is the man down there for Leeds United today. Daniel Farke accepting his one-match touchline ban, which he didn't fulfil midweek because it hadn't been sent through.
He must have said something bad, mustn't he? Because the most softly spoken, nicest man in football gets banned for talking to the referee after. He must have said something out of order, mustn't he?
I'm not sure he got close enough to say anything before the red card was out.
It was out quickly, wasn't it?
It really was. But today he fulfills that ban, so he is up in the stands. We've seen some shots on our TV monitor of him sitting up there. Will of course be in contact with the bench, but Eddie Reiner, the man down there for Leeds United today, and he's it looks quite relaxed down there, as does Philip Clement, as Norwich win a free kick inside the centre circle, which is played across the halfway line to Crescenny, now back to his defensive partner, to McConville. Now it comes forward, and the little touch inside looking for Fitzgordon, not quite on the same wavelength, and now Leeds are able to break. Dan James down the right hand side, just cutting in, looking for options, and there's a Norwich foot that clears it before it can get into the path of Nmecha. And you might be hearing the huge applause around the stadium. It's the 10th minute of the game here, and this applause is for Ella Lynch, who was part of the Leeds United Foundation's Girls Shadow Squad and a huge supporter of Leeds. She was diagnosed with cancer and sadly passed away. Her family are in attendance this afternoon, so Leeds United remembering one of their own.
It's a lovely moment, and Daniel Farker there pictured in the director's box. The Leeds United manager stood applauding with the rest of his fans. Special moment.
Yeah, a special moment for a little girl who loved this club. Norwich City winning the ball in midfield. Ahmed, an opportunity to head back down that left touchline, but he cuts back inside, keeps possession for Norwich, who are still finding their feet in this game. Both sides are, really. We've had no opportunities in front of goal as yet, but that's been lost, and now Goodmanson down this left hand side just can't quite feed it into the path of Nyonto, but it's fallen to Longstaff, who goes from distance high over the top of Daniel Grimshaw's crossbar. A little bit of a wasted opportunity perhaps for Leeds, that.
Yeah, it's been slightly disjointed, the early openings of this game. Leeds United looking at their formation. Nmecha's actually the one that's playing the highest. Joe Pirot will play. He wears number 10, and he will play in that number 10 role in and behind. A different formation for Leeds. Daniel Farker stumbled across it, worked hard on it, call it what you want, that formation that he decided to employ in the second half of the game against Manchester City, what seems a lifetime ago now. It's worked for Leeds United, but they've reverted to the back four today.
Yeah, they lost 8 of their first 13 league games and then changed to that formation, and it's just 4 defeats in their last 16 now, so it has worked wonders for Leeds, albeit they've lost their last 2 Premier League games heading into this FA Cup tie, as Longstaff took a sore one. He's just getting to his feet now. Tanaka on the ball. Longstaff gets it and plays it down the line to James. Nice flick inside to get clear of Crescenny, but he does well to recover and slide in and win the ball back for Norwich. Now an opportunity for Norwich to go the other direction, as Gibbs just gets away from Nyonto in the centre circle, looking for options out to this left side again with Crescenny over the halfway line. Ahmed in front of us, hugging that touchline as he tends to do. Field and Gibb just knocking it around amongst each other, and now it's back with Cordoba in the back line for Norwich, taking the sting out of the game. Now they go long. Gibb looking to get in behind Goodmanson, but Goodmanson is able to clear it before Gibbs can get on the end of it, as he does again under pressure. The left back, it's come off Goodmanson, so he tries to avoid the throw-in, which he does, but then out it goes from Ampadu, and it will be a Norwich throw, just level with the penalty area on that far right hand side. Yeah,
in these early stages there's been no real discrepancy between the Premier League side and the Championship side. Norwich have come here, they've held their own, and actually Leeds, when they're out of possession, they sit in this defensive shape and allow Norwich to knock the ball around.
13 minutes gone, still goalless, yet to really have any sort of clear sight of goal for either side, as Norwich look to become the third team this afternoon to knock out Premier League opposition. We already saw Southampton win 1-0 away to Fulham with a last minute penalty there. Port Vale, the big story today, winning at home to Sunderland, and now it is Leeds against Norwich. Norwich looking to do what those teams earlier on did, but it's an opportunity for Leeds. Again, it's Goodmanson offering width down the left hand side, edge of the penalty area, looking to get the cross in, which he's not able to do, but it is deflected out, and it will be a first corner of the afternoon, and it's going the way of Leeds United.
That's a super piece of attacking play from Leeds. Within 3 passes they've gone from halfway inside their own attacking defensive third to winning a corner. It was a lovely ball into Nmecha, who turned it around the corner and Goodmanson, who's always a threat down that left-hand side, overlaps. It's almost like the players know what run he's going to make, and Nemecha just plays it with the outside of his boot into Goodmanson, and then wins a corner over on that far side.
It's going to be a tough shift for Kellen Fisher at right back and Liam Gibbs at right wing, trying to handle the pace and the direct running of Goodmanson, and he's won their first corner, which Longstaff takes now right-footed into the area. It's headed clear by Cresceni, but it's going to go all the way through for a Leeds United throw-in right down next to the corner flag on the right-hand side. And Liam Gibbs, a centre midfielder really by trade, has been forced to go out onto that right-sided position. As we wait for the throw-in to be taken, let's get an update from QPR against Middlesbrough. Aaron Paul.
15 gone, QPR 0, Middlesbrough 0. A game of very few opportunities. The best coming down the left for QPR. Richard Kone into the area. Left-footed driving shot held well by Solbrin in the Middlesbrough goal. 0-0.
Goalless there, goalless here. That corner is cleared, but it is going to be picked up just inside Norwich's half by Goodmanson. Looking for options, he's got his arms outstretched, he's had to go all the way back to his goalkeeper. No movement at all from there, up ahead. No,
frustrating there for Goodmanson. I mean, it was a decent set play from Leeds United, well cleared by Norwich, but the ball came back to Goodmanson. He had all the time in the world, but the space just closed in and the white shirts weren't moving.
Goodmanson again picks it up. He's been on the ball a lot, very influential in these opening 16 minutes for Leeds United, but as yet hasn't been able to create any sort of real opening. It is Leeds on the ball. Captain Ampadu playing at centre half today, just knocks it into Tanaka, gets it back, and Leeds just playing around at the back. FA Cup highlights as ever this evening, 10:35 on BBC One, as that through ball is going to just trickle out of play before Dan James can get on the end of it. So 10:35 for all the highlights from this stage of the FA Cup. That is on BBC One. It is 11:20 that is on in Scotland. You'll get Scottish Cup highlights at 10:35 in Scotland after Celtic knocked Rangers out on penalties in their quarter-final. St Mirren against Partick Thistle, that is to come at 7:30. But it's full-time in the Super League.
Yeah, big one this one. Huddersfield Giants have beaten Hull Kingston Rovers have beaten the Huddersfield Giants to make it 32-6, get their first win of the season and leave Huddersfield as the only side yet to win in Super League this season. 2 tries apiece for Mikey Lewis and Tom Davies. Ollie Goddard and Joe Burgess also weighing in as Rovers, the champions, got back to winning ways. Huddersfield, though, they scored through George Flanagan, who then limped off. They're already injury ravaged. Not a good afternoon for them. Full time, Huddersfield Giants 6, Hull KR 32.
Thank you very much. You enjoy the rugby, Paul?
Big win for Hull, that. A big win for Hull after a very disappointing defeat last week in Las Vegas. Travelled all the way to Las Vegas as the favourites. Got heavily beaten by a very strong Leeds side. So Hull back to winning ways today.
Yeah, well, if you are a fan of rugby union, it is going to be an incredible end to the Six Nations.
I wondered how long it would take you. One
of the great performances at Murrayfield yesterday afternoon has blown the Six Nations wide open. So the Rugby Weekly podcast available every day this week as we build up to what will be a sensational finale at the weekend. Scotland and Ireland going head to head in Dublin. France hosting England in Paris.
Did you have a nice day yesterday?
I had a lovely day in the sunshine as well, Paul. It was warm, the rugby was free flowing, the tries were going in as Leeds try and knock it over the top to Nyonto. He's in a challenge with the goalkeeper and it's going to fall to Mecha, and in it goes for the opening goal, and that will be a mistake from Daniel Grimshaw. He came out to try and collect. Nyonto got enough of a touch on it, and there was Lucas Mecha to just knock it in to the empty net, and it's Leeds United 1, Norwich 0.
Oh, it's such a simple goal from a Leeds United point of view. It's a long ball over the top, it's a hopeful ball. The goalkeeper, Grimshaw, looks to be in complete control of the situation, but Willie Nyonto, he goes and challenges the goalkeeper, he gets it all wrong. It's a real mess from the goalkeeper's point of view. He's kind of stranded on the edge of the box. He doesn't know where to go out the box and head it, stay in his box and try and claim the catch. It's a straight ball over the top, there's no question of offside. The central defender and the goalkeeper let it bounce. The smallest player on the pitch, Willie Nyonto, he gets a shoulder or the side of his head to it, and it bounces to Nemecha, and all Nemecha's got to do is run it into an empty net from 12 yards away. A real defensive mistake from Norwich. Simple goal from Leeds.
Very simple goal, a eighth goal of the season, for Lucas Mecha. And that one will go down as one of the most simple. But we are just got a little bit of a break in play. The referee is going to have a look at the monitor. So Darren England has been called to the monitor by VAR official Andrew Kitchen, and I wonder if this is for the challenge on the goalkeeper.
Exactly that. That's exactly right, Ellie. You're absolutely right. It's a long ball over the top. There's absolutely no question whether it's offside or not. It's Gnonto. Gnonto goes with McConville and the goalkeeper. There's a coming together between the two.
Is it the
Gnonto
handball?
puts his left arm across the goalkeeper, and it looks to me like it hits the top of Gnonto's left arm. I mean, this is going to be very subjective as to whose opinion and where the ball hits Gnonto's arm. Gnonto's gone across the front of the central defender, and he's led with his arm to try and get his head there. The referee's checked quickly. I think this will be ruled out.
Well, here is the thoughts of Darren England on what will be awarded. And as you can hear from the reaction of the Leeds United support, that goal will not stand. A handball in the build-up. We saw a subjective handball here on Tuesday night that got the penalty for Sunderland to take all 3 points. This one, I think, is even more subjective than that. It hits just below the shirt line of Willie Gnonto.
Is that big of an error? Is that big of an error that the referee needs to be called over to the screen for that? We talk about the intervention of VAR. We're currently, you're not missing anything. We've got a break in play. The goalkeeper, Daniel Grimshaw's gone down. But actually, that's very, very subjective. The VAR official's opinion and the referee's opinion as to where that ball has struck Willie Gnonto's arm. For me, just let that go.
Well, they've just shown it on the big screens here, so now there's even more fury around the stands of Ellen Road. But whilst goalkeeper Daniel Grimshaw gets some treatment, let's find out. There's been a goal at QPR against Borough. Which way, Aaron Paul?
It's gone crucially to Middlesbrough. It's crucial in regards to the race for the automatic places. Matt Target with the ball in from the left-hand side. Morgan Whittaker with 2 bites of the cherry. And on the line was David Strelic just to tap the ball home. QPR 0, Middlesbrough 1.
Let's also just get an update on the cricket. Kevin Howells.
The update is that India are well on their way here to the T20 World Cup because New Zealand on the run chase 137 for 6 in the 15th over. That's 119 runs needed from 33 balls. Santner and Neesham are still giving it a go, but surely it's all too late. 137 for 6 in the 15th, need 256.
Thank you very much. A lack of protest from the Leeds United players. Were you surprised by that?
Very much so. I think they wheeled away in celebration. They were convinced that the goal would have stood.
As in Mecha comes forward again, trying to get the better of Cordoba, who does really well and comes clear with it. So it is still goalless here at Ellen Road. 23 minutes on the clock. And Mecha had the ball in the net. It was judged to be a handball in the build-up as Willie Gnonto challenged Daniel Grimshaw in the Norwich goal. Disallowed. So still we are, as we started, goalless. Leeds with the ball down this left-hand side. Gnonto trying to wriggle clear, but it's won by Norwich and given straight away. So Beal on the halfway line with it to Bourne out. And there's a little bit more energy to this game now, Paul Robinson.
Leeds have picked the tempo since that goal, and they're pressing high, they're noticeably pressing high, looking for territorial advantage. Norwich slightly on the back foot. And that goal, I don't like it, I really don't. That's such a subjective decision. I mean, the referee on the field didn't see a problem with it at all. And it's, what was the rule? It was the shirt sleeve line, wasn't it? And it's probably landed half a ball between both. The bottom half of his arm and the top half of his arm. It's certainly not below his elbow.
Well, you can have your thoughts on it tonight. Match of the day, FA Cup highlights as Sean Longstaff puts in the free kick. It's headed down by a Norwich head, but one. Gnonto with the effort from the edge of the box on the half volley, but it's gone just over the top of Grimshaw's bar. But you can see that has injected a little bit of urgency into Leeds United's play. They have certainly been the more dangerous side since that ball hit the back of the net and was then disallowed.
Just seen a picture of Daniel Farker sat in his seat looking on the front row of the director's box. He looks quite frustrated. I think he expected Wilfred Gnonto to do better with that effort that he had.
Long ball from the goalkeeper up to Megoma, and then Ahmed challenging for it up against Tanaka, gives away the free kick and also gets a yellow card as well, as Tanaka just pulls himself up off the ground.
Yeah, he does that well, Tanaka. That's what he's in the team for. I mean, he's been a bit part player this season, but actually the defensive capabilities that he has, he protects the back three, the back four, whoever's playing. He's a fan's favourite here, Tanaka.
He is, doesn't get a lot of game time, hasn't started a game before today since December against Brentford. He's had to be patient on the bench, and I suppose that is one thing with Daniel Farke. He doesn't tinker with his team, he doesn't switch things up. He tends to, once he's found a settled starting 11, stay with that, and Tanaka has struggled to get game time really because of it. Hence the reason that I'm surprised with the amount of changes that he's made today, you know, looking to try and get some kind of momentum. Ball over the top looking for Nyonto, but it's cleared, and now Ahmed picks it up, tries to flick it in behind to Magoma, and these are two players that have certainly lit up Norwich City and Carrow Road. Magoma and Ahmed, both of them joining in January. I've been looking forward to seeing them. They've not really been able to click yet this afternoon, but Gibbs picks the ball up wide on the right hand side, midway between the halfway line and Leeds' penalty area. He's got Tanaka up ahead of him, he just drops it off to Fisher, now inside to Magoma. A chance to get those dancing feet going, but he's well hustled by Longstaff and Tanaka, and Leeds now going long. Dan James, foot race against Cresceni, and James has won it. He's into the area, looks for the pass to Mecha, right in his path, and Mecha can't make contact, and it goes all the way across the face of goal. And he's looking for a push in Mecha. Nothing given at the moment, but what an opportunity. Yeah, it's a really good quick counter-attack from Leeds United. Once again, it's the long straight ball over the top, and the pace that we spoke about in the side with Dan James. He's brilliant down the right hand side. He gets in behind the Norwich defence, plays a super ball across the 6-yard line for Lucas Nemecha. He's claiming that he was pushed. The referee's had a quick look at it, nothing given. Nothing given, we are still goalless, but Leeds United turning the screw. Goodmanson left side of the penalty area, it's fallen to Mecha, right foot, and he's managed to slice it over the top of the bar. He set it up wonderfully, and Mecha just dinked it up on the turn, but his right-footed volley just over the top of the bar. You do feel it's coming for Leeds United. The pressure's building. They're opening this Norwich defence open at will now. Goodmanson on the left-hand side. It's a bobbled ball into the centre of the 18-yard box. It arrives at Nemecha, because Nemecha, he holds his central defender off, who's actually pulling his shirt. First touch with his left foot, swivels on his right. No real kind of contact, but the opportunities for Leeds, you feel, are coming. They have certainly turned the pressure up as Grimshaw launches that ball into the air. It's won by Biol, and Mecha up against Cordoba wins the free kick on the edge of the centre circle. A little bit too eager from the Norwich centre half, and Leeds with an opportunity again to keep this pressure on as the substitutes come out for warm-ups in front of us and get a warm reception from the Leeds United support. Got a strong bench, Leeds, when you look at the changes that he's made. It's what, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 players that would have possibly started today if it was a Premier League game. He does have a very strong bench, as Bornau's cross is going to go all the way through, and it's easy for Grimshaw to just dive on top of it and get possession back for Norwich. And they need to try and take a little bit of the sting out of Leeds' game, Norwich, try and get hold of the ball and slow things down a little. They won't be too disappointed, Norwich. Listen, they're not going to expect to come to a Premier League ground and dominate possession and dominate the play. But actually, what are we now? We're 28.5 minutes into the game, and they've got a clean sheet to the name. They've had very little threat going forward, offered very, very little. Lucas Perry in the Leeds United goal has been underemployed. He's on the ball now, but that's all he's had to deal with, is things with his feet and playing it out to the Leeds United defence and restart the moves. But actually, Norwich, they've done well to stay in this game. Goodmanson providing the width. Mecha going down that left-hand side, and Goodmanson's going to give him the overlap. He gets the ball now, left edge of the penalty area, just tried to play it into Dan James. It's come off a Norwich foot, though. It will be another Leeds United corner, and you can hear all the four stands around Ellen Road beginning to get right behind their team, because they can smell a goal coming, Paul Robinson. Yeah, it's a full Ellen Road once again. The atmosphere here is always excellent, and I think with this game today, we did wonder how they would approach this game, but the supporters and the team alike, they're certainly looking for the win. Well, let's get the latest from the T20 final and Kevin Howell.
India are well on their way to retaining this T20 World Cup final, but the crowd, over 100,000 of them, a sea of blue, and they're all to their feet now because Jasprit Bumrah is about to bowl a hat-trick ball, or he hopes it's going to be. He's taken 2 in 2. He's got rid of Nisham for 8, Henry first ball without scoring. He's already got 3 wickets. Can he make it 4? He's on a hat-trick. He's bowling to Ferguson. Oh no, bowls now. Yorker length, just about kept out. They're all back in their seats, but they're just about to celebrate, I think, another World Cup victory coming up. The target is 256. They're going along really nicely in terms of restraining the New Zealand chase here. 142 for 8 in the 16th over. Bumrah misses out on the hat-trick, but I don't think it's going to spoil the party too much.
Well, free kick for Leeds United midway between the halfway line and the edge of Norwich's penalty area. Ahmed giving away. He's just been booked not long ago, but in it floats towards the back post and towards Be-All, and it's going to be another Leeds United corner, but he's going to have to be careful, Ahmed. He pulled Goodmanson back in the middle of the pitch, but not long after getting himself into the referee's book, he'll need to be careful. Yeah,
and surprise, surprise, the Leeds United defenders who are in attacking position are complaining about holding from a set play. It's a common theme at the moment, isn't it?
It is indeed. The dark arts. David Moyes had a lot to say about it recently after coming up against Arsenal, as the corner kick comes in, front post headed clear, but it will be picked up by James onto Longstaff, back into the area again, headed clear by Cordova. Longstaff should get on the end of that. He doesn't, but Ampadu does. But Norwich able to try and get a foot on it. Can't clear though. Ampadu wins it back. Pirro looking for the run down the outside of Ampadu, which he doesn't make, and he wins the ball in the area. Norwich looking for a free kick, nothing given as Ampadu went in on Fisher. Ampadu's also looking for something there, which would be a penalty if anything was awarded inside the area, but nothing has been given as Leeds continue to put the pressure on down the left hand side. Tanaka using Goodmanson, and now back with Be-All in the centre circle. Everybody in Norwich's half, bar Lucas Perry, the Leeds United goalkeeper. Gnonto up against Cresceni. The Italian just flicking the ball right, left, looking for the opportunity. Gets the run from Goodmanson down the left hand side. A heavy touch, but he's able to get the ball across, and there's the turn, and there's the goal from Sean Longstaff. This one surely this one will count, as the midfielder is off celebrating in the corner, surrounded by his Leeds United teammates. And it's Leeds United 1, Norwich City 0.
Well, you can't say it hasn't been coming. Leeds United have been up in the tempo. They've been putting the pressure on this Norwich City defence. A good, well-worked goal from Leeds United. An unlikely goal scorer, Sean Longstaff, with his second for Leeds United. Comes from Willie Gnonto on the left-hand side. It's a good ball into Goodmanson again. On the left-hand side, he cuts it back. And tell you what, it's a brilliant first touch from Longstaff. Goodmanson, the ball's almost going out of play. He reaches it with his left foot. He just whips it back into an area. He's not looking for anybody. But the first touch of Sean Longstaff, you may be able to hear that ripple of applause on our effects mic, because the replay's just been shown on the big screen. What a superb first touch that is. It's whipped back from the byline at pace. Great first touch. Reverse, smashes it into the goal and gives Leeds a deserved lead.
It was a wonderful first touch and a wonderfully controlled finish as well from Sean Longstaff. His second goal for Leeds United. He's had a frustrating season with that calf injury. Hasn't started for a while, but he's back in today and he's got himself back on the score sheet, and he's given Leeds the lead with 34 minutes on the clock. It has been coming. It has been relentless pressure from Leeds for the last 20 minutes, but Norwich now trying to start an attack of their own. The long ball up to Magoma, and Be-All just heads it out, so it will be a throw in to Norwich down next to the corner flag just below us. An opportunity for Norwich to try and put some pressure on of their own.
Yeah, I do just wonder if that will kick Norwich into life, because I've been disappointed with them. They've offered very, very little, that we spoke about before, and that phrase, the free hit. They've come here, they've looked to sit back, and Leeds have dominated the game, but from a Norwich point of view, they haven't laid a glove on Leeds at all.
Well, they are trying to do that now. Cresceni into Ahmed, just looking to turn away from Tanaka, but he does well to keep the pressure on the Leeds United midfielder, but still Ahmed with the ball going in the wrong direction, though, drops it back to Cordoba. And there are plenty of yellow shirts in Leeds' half now. This hasn't happened often in this game. An opportunity for Ahmed, which he plays the 1-2 with Magoma. He goes for the effort and it's just gone round the far post. Perry diving to his left-hand side. He didn't look overly concerned about it as it whistled past his left-hand post. But that's the first little sniff for Norwich, and perhaps, like you say, Paul, that goal will spark them into life.
Well, it's the first time that the return in Lucas Perry has hit the floor. From a Norwich City point of view, they haven't troubled the Leeds United goalkeeper at all. They're setting a higher press now. You can see Philip Clement down beneath us in his technical area. He's trying to instigate his team to get them further at the pitch and to press Leeds and win the ball back in an area.
Norwich just getting defensively into a little bit of a muddle with McConville up against Mmecha, and Leeds win it back in Norwich's half with Longstaff. Nyonto just playing it back to Ampadu, gets a little knock as he played that pass, falls to the ground but nothing given. He's back up on his feet, and Goodmanson on that left hand side now looking again for Nyonto, but that one cut out, will be a Leeds United throw-in. So it is Leeds who lead here at Ellen Road by that goal to nil. It wasn't a good day for the Premier League sides in the FA Cup. Fulham, they went down 1-0 at home to Southampton, and Port Vale from League One winning 1-0 at home to Sunderland. Yesterday, far better day for the Premier League clubs. Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City all going through to the quarter-finals as the ball comes in from the right-hand side, headed clear by Kenny McLean. It will be another Leeds throw-in on the far side, level with the edge of the penalty area as the home side look to keep this pressure on. Yeah, really good from Leeds. They've been the dominant force in this first half. They look like a Premier League team now. Said very early on in the game, the first 5 or 10 minutes, Norwich had held their own and they put up a fight against Leeds United, but now they just look a better side, Leeds. And Goodmanson causing all sorts of problems. Down back to the byline, and the ball across goal just not able to land at a Leeds United foot. There were a couple of bodies in there, he just couldn't pick anybody out, but Goodmanson in particular has been a huge threat down that left hand side. Now it's Tanaka into Pirro, looking for the pass into Mmecha, edge of the area, finds Nyonto. Nyonto slips but Pirro picks it up around 25 yards out from Norwich's goal. Goodmanson left side, now down the line to Nyonto, cuts it back onto his right foot, now facing up Fisher. In comes the cross, back post, headed clear by Cresceni before Dan James could get on the end of it. Norwich under real pressure as Ahmed goes down under the challenge of Tanaka, and that will ease the pressure as Norwich win the free kick. So let's head back to QPR Borough and Aaron Paul. Yeah,
QPR nil, Middlesbrough 1. Borough still leading for that David Strelec finish, but we've seen them go very, very close. Hayden Hackney, edge of the area, curling a gorgeous shot in towards goal, and it must have been an inch or two just wide of Joe Walsh's left-hand post. QPR nil, Middlesbrough 1.
It is Leeds United 1, Norwich 0 here at Ellen Road. 37.5 minutes played. Paul Robinson, former Leeds United goalkeeper, alongside me, and we spoke about surprise in the number of changes, but also the opportunity these Leeds United players who aren't getting as much Premier League action as they would maybe like to show Daniel Farke that they should be selected more often.
Yeah, surprised in the number of changes, and surprised with the starting 11 when we've got the team sheets, and also surprised with the performance that he's got from this team, their attitude and the application. Quite often, if you're a player that's on the fringes and you're not playing, you're quite often knocking on the manager's door, why aren't I playing? And when you get the opportunity in games like this, you show the manager why you're not playing. But actually, the Leeds United players are giving the manager a problem here, because everyone to a man, other than Lucas Perry, because he's not had the opportunity to, they look like a good side at the moment, Leeds.
A good problem to have, I think, if you're a manager and you're Daniel Farke, as Kenny McLean gets bundled over by Sean Longstaff, and it will be a free kick to Norwich, and a yellow card as well for the goal scorer, Sean Longstaff. Kenny McLean, the Norwich captain, making his 300th club appearance today, just the 24th Norwich player to hit 300 appearances for the club. He was actually heavily linked a couple of seasons ago with a move to Leeds, but he stayed at Norwich. Playing at Ellen Road today, and his side trail by a goal to nil. But Norwich on the ball now, looking to try and create through Magoma. Plays it out to the right hand side to Fisher, who takes the ball over the halfway line. Gibbs back into Kenny McLean, goes long, looking for Ahmed, who takes it down under pressure from James, trying to hold off the Welshman. Does so well as Field moves it to his right. to the captain, to McLean, and inside to Gibbs, just spins away. He's got the option of Cresceni on the left hand side, uses Magoma and tries to just knock it into the path of Ahmed, but Leeds United back in numbers, win it, and now they go on the counter, and it's a long ball, and it's Willie Gnonto will pick it up, left edge of the penalty area. He drives towards the penalty area and into Goodmanson, who flicks it back to Gnonto on that left side, just waiting for numbers to come forward, which they have done now. Longstaff, will he play it into the area? Nope, he cuts back and plays to Goodmanson. Now it comes in, looking for a Mecha all the way past Piro to James on that right side, left-footed effort, and the header from Gnonto, but he was offside. The flag is up, back post header from Willie Gnonto. He did look like he'd strayed, Paul, and he has done indeed.
Super counter-attacking play from Leeds again. They're so comfortable in this game, Leeds United. They sit back, they soak up the Norwich pressure, and one long ball from Sean Longstaff. It's not a hit and hope over the top, it's with the inside of his foot, and he puts it into an area. He knows that Gnonto's going to get on the end of it. Drives into the penalty box, Willie Gnonto. He initially causes the problem, and then the ball ends up back with Dan James, who in turn returns the favour back to Gnonto at the far post. He's actually looking along the defensive line, so I'd be surprised why hasn't he kept himself onside. It's a real bugbear of mine. He's at the back, he's at the far post, he's looking along the defensive line. It's so simple, keep yourself onside.
Well, it is incredibly tight. They are checking the decision of no goal, but I think it has been confirmed that he was indeed offside. I'm interested to see the pictures. It reminded me very much of the goal that was disallowed last night by Wrexham right at the end of the game, Lewis Brunt, and how tight that was. I think this one was quite similar.
What a big goal that was to be disallowed as well, wasn't it? I mean, Absolutely. That was a fantastic game last night, wasn't it? We're not quite at those levels yet, but I think there's a similar type of decision. You're absolutely right.
So Leeds United, just free kick given to Norwich City just inside Leeds United's half. Ngoma on it, which he will knock back to Cordoba. There was also a flurry of yellow cards there. Sean Longstaff getting one. Wasn't sure if there was a second one given. We'll check that for you. But Nemecha wins the ball inside Norwich's half. Now he drives forward into the penalty area. Inside the ball goes, but just couldn't be taken under control by Biyol, who was up there, the centre half, making a long run forward. But it is going to be a Leeds free kick in the centre circle, and they're beginning to really dominate things. 42 minutes played. It is certainly becoming one-way traffic here.
It's been a really dominant performance from Leeds United, it really has.
Dan James, right edge of the penalty area, cuts the ball across, it's fallen to Goodmanson, and it's now 2 for Leeds United. Gabriel Goodmanson with the left-footed prodded finish into the bottom left-hand corner of Grimshaw's goal, and Leeds United have been keeping the pressure on, and they now have found themselves with a 2-goal cushion. The ball in from Dan James, first time finish from Goodmanson. Leeds United 2, Norwich 0.
It's been very, very much one-way traffic in this first half, and Leeds United have exerted their dominance there. Goodmanson with his left foot finds the back of the net. Really well worked play from Leeds. It's constant pressure. Norwich are really struggling to deal with them. They've got no answers. They've not been able to get a foothold in this game whatsoever. The ball comes out onto the right-hand side, and Dan James gets round the fullback, gets given time and space. It's an okay-ish ball into the middle of the 6-yard box. It's not very well dealt with. Sam Field is half a clearance. Comes back out to Goodmanson. Gabriel Goodmanson, 7 or 8 yards out on his left foot as the ball rises. Not going to miss an opportunity like that. Fires it into the bottom left-hand corner. And at the moment, it's easy for Leeds.
It is indeed, and that is Gabriel Goodmanson's first goal in the white colours of Leeds United. After making the move from Lille in the summer, he hadn't scored since February 2025 in a game against Saint Etienne. So a year later, just over a year later, he gets on the score sheet once again. It's given Leeds United a 2-0 lead just before the break here at Ellen Road, and it is very, very comfortable. But we have a winner in the T20 World Cup. Kevin Howells.
It's never been done before. Successful defence of the T20 World Cup. The champions are India. They've beaten New Zealand by 96 runs. The target, they said, a mammoth 256. New Zealand all out for 159 in the 19th over. India, T20 World Cup champions.
Well, a yellow card was also shown to Jose Cordoba as that offside goal was checked. So Gnonto now going down just on the edge of the centre circle, clutching his right foot. Norwich allowed to play on, which they do on the right hand side. Kenny McLean with the ball now the whistle's gone and the referee will go over and check on Gnonto.
He'll be disappointed, Philip Clement, the way that his side have performed today. I think they've given Leeds too much respect, but on the flip side of that, you've got to give Leeds the credit for exerting their dominance as the Premier League side. Where we sit here at Ellen Road, it's kind of to the left hand side of the halfway line, in between the halfway line and the 18-yard box. All of our eyes, all four of us, have been fixed over to the right hand side. There's been no action in the Leeds United defensive third whatsoever, and you've got to give them a lot of credit for the way that they've played Leeds. They've played quick, they've played decisive, and they've given Norwich no opportunity to get any type of foothold in this game.
Well, we have 6 minutes added to the end of this first half, which we've just entered now, as Chris Gordon plays a lovely little flick into the path of Kenny McLean. Now a chance for Paris Magoma, edge of the penalty area. He's got a couple of Leeds United bodies around him, and all he could do was send it towards the penalty spot where it was cleared. But again, Norwich come forward, Cresceni with the ball in. Chris Gordon trying to get a head on it, but he's not the tallest of statures, the Norwich City striker, and it goes straight out. Does get a thumbs up though from Philip Clement. Yeah,
just seeing Philip Clement on our monitors here inside the stadium. He's cutting a bit of a frustrated figure, as those Norwich fans are down beneath us to our right hand side. I think they probably expected more from their team. They've been poor, actually, in all honesty, but Leeds United haven't allowed them to get in the game. But again, using a phrase that I used earlier, they've not laid a glove on Leeds at all. Lucas Perry has been underemployed.
He's had very little to do, the Leeds United goalkeeper, and there was a real feel-good around Norwich given the results they've had under Philip Clement, but he is working with an incredibly lengthy injury list, so there are areas of the pitch where he is very short, and certainly the forward area is one of them. Chris Gordon, the only fit striker available to him. He's actually been playing Jakov Medic, the centre half up front at times. Philip Clement, such is the problems in that forward area. But Gnonto and Gudmundsson, ball in, Pirro tries to flick it towards goal, but it takes a touch off a Norwich foot and it will be out for another Leeds United corner.
It's a mismatch. It's a complete mismatch at the moment. Leeds are very, very much dominating this game. So much joy down the left-hand side there. Gudmundsson once again overlapping the fullback. He's got time, he's got space. He puts the ball across the 18-yard box, and Joel Pirro, he should score. Comes onto his favoured left foot, doesn't make any type of connection, does get a deflection, but it shouldn't need a deflection. It should be buried in the back of the net. Leeds should be 3 up.
They are just the 2 up as Longstaff's corner comes into the area. It's allowed all the way through and almost got in the end of it, Ampadu, but it's launched clear by Norwich. It will be recovered by James, though under pressure. Longstaff helps him out. And again, Gudmundsson. So many touches of the ball in this first half. Gudmundsson, he's been everywhere down that left-hand side, provided so much attacking threat, also been doing the little defensive duties that he's had to do as Mecha wins the header, but Bornau can't get on the end of it, and it's back with Grimshaw in the Norwich goal. Let's get the news from QPR Middlesbrough. Half-time there, Aaron Paul.
Yeah, half-time it is. So far so good for Borough, who lead it at the break. David Strelix in, and Morgan Whittaker shot bundling off him to give Kim Hellberg's side the lead. They could have had 2. Hayden Hackley curling an effort very narrowly wide of the post. QPR being poor. Richard Kone with their only real chance of the game at the break. It is Middlesbrough who lead Queen's Park Rangers by a goal to 0.
Well, just some treatment being given to Lucas Mecha. He's gone down on the field in front of us, so let me update you on what is to come in a very busy week in the Champions League. Some huge games to come, double commentaries on Tuesday night and Wednesday night. Galatasaray against Liverpool on Tuesday night from 5:45, and that is followed by Newcastle against Barcelona at 8 o'clock. Both of those matches live for you on Radio 5 Live. And then on Wednesday night, Bayer Leverkusen against Arsenal at 5:45, followed by Real Madrid against Manchester City at 8. Again, both are 5 live commentaries. Where are you this week, Paul?
I have the pleasure of a trip to Madrid this week.
What a shame.
I'm very, very much looking forward to. And I think due to the downfall and demise at the moment of my former club Tottenham Hotspur, I think we may be paying more of an interest into their game on Tuesday. So what was going to be one trip for me for Real Madrid Manchester City, I think I may be going to Atletico Tottenham as well.
A couple of days in Madrid. Honestly, lovely stuff, lovely stuff. Yeah, that will be a very interesting evening for Tottenham for sure. You talk about, and a lot of Leeds United fans I heard speaking about this as either a welcome or unwelcome distraction to come into an FA Cup match, given their last couple of results in the Premier League, and in some ways it takes your attention away, can build some positivity, as this first half has done. Perhaps the same for Spurs on Tuesday night.
I just think it's a game they don't need. I really do. I think where they are at the moment, you know, the pressure and the feeling after that Crystal Palace game, I just think that's a game that the supporters, the players, the manager, nobody needs. It's a really difficult situation.
Well, they will hope to bring some sort of joy, as Leeds have done in this opening 45 against Norwich. They lead by 2-0, and Mecha back up on his feet just off the field of play at the moment, waiting to come back on. And Norwich, they've won the ball in the centre circle. Cresceni on it as he drives into Leeds' half. He's got Ahmed on the overlap. Ahmed looking for options. He doesn't have many, and he's got Dan James ahead of him, who he's not going to burn for pace, but he cuts inside onto that right foot. He's heading in the wrong direction, but is able to get support from Kenny McLean on that right hand side onto his left foot. Out wide it goes back to Ahmed, who's got Magoma now outside him, just level with the edge of the penalty area. Magoma right footed into the box, headed clear by Biol, diving down to head that clear, but Norwich win it back. Magoma well challenged by James, and now James has an opportunity to play forward, and Mecha on the halfway line gets a little kick on the ankle. It will be a free kick to Leeds on the halfway line. Cordoba the guilty party, and every time you feel Leeds getting forward, Norwich are just struggling, whether it's giving away a free kick or struggling with the runs in behind. It's been comfortable for Leeds.
He does that well, Nemecha. I think with Dominic Calvert-Lewin coming into the team this season, his opportunities have been limited. He's been one of two, but actually Nemecha has that out-and-out number 9. He's comfortable with his back to play. He holds the ball up well, and as you saw there, won a free kick for his side.
Well, now Kenny McLean just a little bit late on Longstaff, so the Leeds United midfielder thought. The referee giving nothing though, but a couple of players who are on yellow cards for Norwich, and one of them being Cordoba, who just gave away that free kick on the halfway line. It's Kenny McLean now wins a free kick right in front of his manager Philippe Clement, who's looking a little bit more frustrated as the half wears on. He would have come here with such hope of causing real problems for the Premier League opposition, but it hasn't materialised. It was a very even start for the first 10 minutes or so, but after that Mecha goal was disallowed, it has all been about Leeds United. They have piled the pressure on, but can Norwich get something just before the break? McLean with the opportunity to swing it in from just inside Leeds' half. Norwich have plenty of bodies forward, just a little delay in taking the free kick. In it goes now, in towards that penalty area, but it's a Leeds United head that wins it. Gibbs up against Goodmanson on that far side, and Goodmanson is going to win the free kick. He's been exceptional today, the left back. His first goal for the club and his first assist for the club, which I was surprised at given his influence, but a very good half for him, a very good first half for Leeds United. There goes the whistle, and they lead by 2-0. Sean Longstaff with a beautiful touch to just control the ball and then spin, and a really controlled finish into the front post. And then Goodmanson with his first goal from the club. Dan James's cross deflected into the path of Goodmanson, but it was a first time controlled effort into the bottom left hand corner of Grimshaw's goal, and you have to say it could be more. Paul Robinson,
I keep using the word, but dominance, and that's exactly what Leeds United have done. After I said in the first 5-10 minutes it looked like it was going to be a close encounter, but Leeds have just showed their quality. They've completely dominated this game from 10-15 minutes in. They've looked like a Premiership side against the side that were lower down in the Championship. Norwich City have offered very, very little. They haven't touched Leeds, they haven't laid a glove. Lewis Perry, I mean, he fell to the ground once, the Leeds United goalkeeper, but other than that he's had nothing to do. I think for Leeds United now it's about going on and winning this game and ensuring that they get through to the next round comfortably and they don't make themselves a problem. And by the way, I think I'm changing my opinion. Leeds in a quarter-final. They've not been in the final since 1973. Why not? Why not have a go and have a good season? But for Leeds, this is a gimme at the moment. It's only they that can allow Norwich back into it.
well, they've had the ball in the net 2 more times, and Mecha's eventually disallowed after a VAR check. Handball by Willie Gnonto in the build-up, and Gnonto himself heading in, but was offside. So it is the 2 goals that count, and it has Leeds United in a comfortable position. At half-time, it is Leeds 2, Norwich 0.
Ailey, Paul, thank you. We'll be back for second half commentary at Ellen Road. Let's get some more on India's historic retention of the T20 Cricket World Cup, something they've done in Ahmedabad. Kevin House.
Yes, they've won by 96 runs against New Zealand. They set 256 as a target, 255 for 5. New Zealand all out for 159 right at the end of that penultimate over, the 19th. It has been truly, this World Cup retention, a display of world-class cricket in T20 cricket from India. Sometimes it is the pressure of the chase, Steve, and it was a big run chase for New Zealand, but you can take nothing away from the excellent, brutal striking of the ball from India in their first innings. Abhishek Sharma, remember they were put into bat as well. I don't know why captains do that. Abhishek Sharma, Sanju Samson. Remember Samson today with an 89. He got an 89 against England, 97 not out in his previous innings as well. Marvellous from him. Ishan Kishan, it was 203 for 1 after 16 overs. New Zealand fought back just a little, but then 35 runs from the last 2 overs. All that's, psychological damage upon New Zealand in the run chase, and 256 was made to look impossible. Jasprit Bumrah, well, what about him? He gets a wicket with his first ball. That was the start of the 4th over. That was Ravindra. And then later on, we took it live on 5 Live Sport this afternoon. There were 2 wickets in 2 balls. He was on a hat-trick, picked up 4 for 15, backed up by some exceptional catching and fielding as well. Particularly, we call out Ishan Kishan on that. It really was magnificent stuff. So, yeah, really worthy winners of the T20 World Cup, and a comprehensive, with a capital C, victory for India over New Zealand.
Kevin, thank you very much. That is Kevin Howells. We've got reaction on the way to the big stories of the day, including the Celtic manager Martin O'Neill after they beat Rangers on penalties at Ibrox in the Scottish Cup quarter-final, a game that was really marred by some very ugly scenes after the end, with supporters from both teams clashing on the pitch at Ibrox. We'll also hear from the Port Vale manager John Brady after they knocked out Sunderland in the FA Cup, and Ross Stewart, the man who scored the winner for Championship side Southampton to knock out Fulham at Craven Cottage. All of that after the news with Dan Maudsley.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Steve. Iran appears to be closer to agreeing a new supreme leader to replace Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was killed by the United States and Israel last week. Iranian state media says the body, which is choosing his successor, has reached a consensus, but there's been no official announcement. Our international editor, Jeremy Bowen, says change is coming to Iran.
It won't be a supreme leader in the way that Khamenei was a supreme leader. He was only the second in their history of the Islamic Republic. He'd been there for an awfully long time. And the new guy will have to listen and maybe be told what to do by other powerful figures in the regime.
Downing Street says the Prime Minister has spoken with President Trump about the situation in Iran. Last night, Mr. Trump described the UK as America's once great ally. The 2 leaders discussed military cooperation and agreed to talk again soon. Israel says it's conducted a fresh wave of strikes on Iran. Its targets included the Iranian Revolutionary Guard's Space and Satellite Command Centre. Ali Fatullah Najed, who's from the Centre for Middle East and Global Order, says civilians on the ground are in a perilous situation.
This war risks to end in a large disaster. The oil depot strikes last night in Tehran have been quite bad, because this shows that there is no really concern about civilians in Iran. The Iranian society is now trapped between a rock and a hard place.
Countries across the Middle East say they've been dealing with more Iranian drones and missiles. Explosions have been reported in the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait and Dubai. Iran says it is targeting American bases, which are unfortunately located. In other news, police have appealed for witnesses after the death of a 7-year-old boy who was hit by a car on a main road in Staffordshire. Police were called at around 5 a.m. yesterday to the A38 at Swinfen. They said the boy, who lived locally, died at the scene. Officers want to hear from witnesses who saw anyone on the carriageway early that morning. And a man has died outside the UK's only safe drug consumption facility in Glasgow. The Thistle allows people to inject heroin or cocaine under medical supervision. Police say there don't appear to be any suspicious circumstances.
On BBC iPlayer.
The question has become more urgent. How do we sort fact from fiction? How can we believe what we see?
The hit drama returns.
That is not the shooter I saw. Why am I the only one who saw the suspect?
You think this is correction?
Yes, sir. The news footage has been deep-faked.
Do you trust her judgment? I don't trust, period.
The new series of The Capture.
Famously unreliable things, memories.
You can't hack a memory.
Stranger things have happened.
Starts tonight on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sports with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Leeds United 2, Norwich City 0 at half-time at Ellen Road in the FA Cup last 16. We've got second half commentary on the way. Let's get some reaction to some of the big stories of the day. We'll start in Scotland. Some really ugly scenes at the end of the Old Firm in the quarter-final of the Scottish Cup, which Celtic won 4-2 on penalties against Rangers at Ibrox. After the shootout, there were fans of both teams that ended up on the pitch. We saw flares being thrown back and forth between the two sets of supporters. There has been a statement from the Scottish Football Association. Here it is. The Scottish FA condemned the behaviour from supporters entering the field of play following the quarter-final at Ibrox. An investigation will be carried out immediately in line with the judicial panel protocol. Let's hear from Celtic manager Martin O'Neill, reflecting on all of today's events with the BBC's Martin Dowden.
Martin, if I can talk to you about football, you obviously got through that tie. It was a very tough day. I'm sure you would recognise that. What's your immediate reaction to coming through a tie of that nature?
Well, obviously delighted that we're still in the competition. It was a tough afternoon. I knew it would be, of course. Ibrox away from home for us for the second time in a week. But our fourth game in 10 days, I knew that we'd get tired during the course of proceedings. Obviously, as we talked about the news beforehand, with Kieran Tierney and Callum missing out, makes the task even more difficult. But I thought the players showed phenomenal courage, great determination, and a rearguard action, which is really commendable.
In terms of the scenes at the end there, which were unsavoury to say the least, obviously you're long and experienced in the game. What did you make of what happened there?
Well, you know, it's the first time now, you know, the rule that came in a couple of years ago that the away fans didn't have the full allocation. To me, watching it from a distance, I thought that the Old Firm fixture lost a little bit of its lustre because of that. And so, you know, as I say, from a distance, advocating that both sets of fans or the full allocation would be for the SPL as much as anything else. There was a lot of euphoria, of course, when you just won a penalty shootout. Those type of things may happen, but I would need to have some sort of analysis of it, you know, before start making some silly comments.
Yeah, are you concerned though there will be some sort of repercussion that would impact what you're saying?
There could be, and that I don't know, but in the heat of the moment, I'm hoping that both sets of fans didn't cross the halfway line. When we were told by security, I certainly was on the field at the time, you know, just acknowledging the away fans. And then when the security told us get off now as quickly as possible, I thought we tried to do that. But I need to have a look, and I will see. Not that whether I see anything, it doesn't really matter. It's for authorities.
Just finally on that, it did appear one of your coaching team might have been approached and involved in an incident. Was there anything in that?
I don't know how it started. I think one of our coaches, definitely was wanting to prevent an incident happening, and I think that was why the person who was on the field was wrestled to the ground. But I don't really know any more about that at this stage.
There you go. That's the Celtic manager Martin O'Neill with the BBC's Martin Dowden. By the way, both clubs have told BBC Sport they're not going to be commenting officially just yet. 08085 909 693 606 follows the action at Ellen Road. Lots to talk about with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Afternoon, Chris.
Hello, Steve.
I think we better start with that, hadn't we? I mean, it's only going to be bad, that. For Scottish football and for attendances in such a big fixture.
Well, it is because of, you know, Celtic getting the full allocation in the away end at Ibrox. I think it's the first time since 2018, and then. I mean, the scenes at the end were shameful. So I want to hear from fans north of the border on their feeling about it. I mean, Celtic fans entered the field of play, which they clearly shouldn't have done, and then. Rangers fans from the other end came onto the field. There were flares thrown. I think Martin O'Neill there mentioning a Celtic member of staff seemed to, or I think it was reported that a Celtic member of staff was attacked. So really unsavoury, embarrassing for the game north of the border. And I don't know whether you watched the game, Steve. I mean, it was a fascinating game, fiercely contested as it always is. But that's going to be, the biggest talking point. What happened at the end? And for all those, fans north of the border who wanted the full allocation back, should that be the way forward? Today certainly didn't help. And the other thing, Steve, what I don't get, these fans who are allowed to go to games in balaclavas, I mean, all that's a sort of sinister look. I mean, this is me sort of going off on one here. I don't get why they have to do that, how they're allowed actually to do that. But
I suppose it's quite difficult to police, Chris, isn't it? Because it's quite easily concealed.
It is, but I mean, you saw all the sort of morons at the end in the balaclavas, on the pitch and throwing flares.
Think about young fans as well when you say that, Chris, don't you? Because it is very, very scary for people.
No, exactly, and you think people take the families, kids to the games and what have you. So it is sinister. It is scary. On the game itself, I mean, Celtic defended well. I mean, they had no threat in attack. Got to penalties. I have to say, I thought Rangers would win on penalties. But Celtic got over the line. I mean, what a job Martin O'Neill has done. So I want to hear from Celtic fans on that. And where does this leave Danny Roll? Now, Danny Roll, I don't know whether you sort of were aware of the sort of kerfuffle last week about Danny Roll criticising Celtic's tactics in European competition. Steve, I thought that was a bit of sort of Danny Roll ego there coming out. And I think if you're a Rangers manager, it's okay when you're winning things. When you can back things up, but he hasn't done that yet. So where are Rangers fans on Danny Roll? And of course, south of the border, Steve, Port Vale.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's unbelievable story.
It absolutely incredible. And I looked at the Sunderland team. I didn't see the game because I was watching Rangers Celtic. But I looked at the Sunderland team. I mean, that's a strong Sunderland team. So fair play to Port Vale, who have really struggled this season. I want to hear from Port Vale fans and Southampton fans as well. What a win. Ross Stewart penalty in the last minute away to Fulham. Their season is sort of on the up again. But if I'm a Sunderland fan and if I'm a Fulham fan, Steve, I am really disappointed that my team has gone out of the FA Cup today. Both will be all right in the Premier League, both going well in the Premier League. That sort of I'd feel a bit flat.
Yeah. 08085 909 693. Cheers, Chris.
Thanks, Steve.
Have a good one. Chris Sutton with Robbie Savage for 606 once we are done at Ellen Road. As Chris mentioned, Port Vale, story of the day, into the FA Cup quarter-finals. They're bottom of League One. They beat Premier League Sunderland into the last eight for the first time since 1954. Here's manager John Brady.
At the moment, I don't know what to feel, really, because it was such hard work in terms of trying to drive the players. Probably hasn't sunk in that we're through because we have played a Premiership side today, and everything we talked about, everything that we tried to implement with the players, they delivered themselves. And probably a little bit surprised because you're playing a Premiership side, and I knew if we could do certain things, which we did today, I think even in the end we broke away 3 or 4 times and could have got the second. And we had to suffer and etc. But overall, really pleased.
There'll be fans watching here who will have never seen Port Vale do this. This may be a once-in-a-lifetime thing, Port Vale reaching the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. I mean, just sum that up in terms of as an achievement for you, particularly given you're relatively new here.
Yeah, look, it's not about me. It's what it is. We're trying to organise a group, trying to change the mentality, which I feel we're starting to do. Like I said, 6 wins out of 14 now, whereas I think that's all season they haven't had that. And overall, I just feel it's important for the football club and the feel-good factor with the fans. We're starting to create a connection. You could see the fans at the end there. It was really great for them. And they've been through some tough times recently.
Absolutely amazing effort. So your FA Cup quarter-finalists so far: Port Vale, Chelsea, Arsenal, Southampton, Liverpool, Manchester City. We've got commentary tomorrow night of West Ham versus Brentford, and the other side will be either Leeds or Norwich, with the Premier League side well in control. Second half commentary from Ellen Road comes from Paul Robinson and Ailey Barber.
Thanks, Steve. Yes, very comfortable first 45 for the home side. Leeds United leading by 2-0. We're having a couple of changes, one for either side. The one for Leeds United is to bring on their FA Cup winner, James Justin, albeit he missed the final with that ACL injury when he was at Leicester. So he is on. Straight swap for Sebastian Bornau, and also a change for Norwich City, which comes in goal. Daniel Grimshaw has gone off. He did go down as Willie Gnonto challenged him for the Nmecha goal that was disallowed for the handball in the build-up, so he has gone off at half-time. Vladan Kovacevic, who is their regular starter in goals in their league matches, he replaces him. We are back underway. Paul Robinson alongside me as Leeds United start to attack straight from the off, and Daniel James goes down in a heap as Norwich are able to get the ball clear. And Paul Robinson, I was going to say it was a comfortable first half. We'll see how Leeds United approach the second. It looks like they're very much approaching it in the same way.
Well, there's only Leeds United that can lose this game. The way that they've started in the first half, the markers that they've put down and their dominance. If they don't play the same way in the second half, they've only got themselves to blame. This is a game that they're fully in control of and that they should go on and win. I mean, the change for Bornau coming off from James Justin actually getting an opportunity to play in his normal preferred right back role. He's been playing one of a back three, the three central defenders. He'll come on and play a right back. But for Leeds, it's all about getting that next goal. We say so often, don't we, that the next goal is all important, and everybody gets fed up of hearing the next goal's this, the next goal's that. But actually for Leeds, the next goal, that's it, job done. For Norwich, it takes a whole different context on this game.
It does indeed, and I'm sure Philippe Clement will have been saying that and sending that message to his players at half-time. They were really poor in that first half. Expected a lot from them. They've been doing so well under the Belgian, and they have exciting players in the likes of Ali Ahmed and Paris Magoma, but we weren't really able to see any of it in the first half. They have got a throw in though on this right hand side down in front of us as Keller Fisher prepares to take that. Let me run you quickly through the teams. So Leeds United in a back four today. Lucas Perry in goal, Goodmanson, Biol, Ampadu and Justin now in that right back position make up the back four. Tanaka and Longstaff in midfield, and Mecha and Pirro, the two providing the attacking threat down the middle, with Willie Gnonto and Dan James out wide. And Gabriel Goodmanson in particular has caused huge problems down that left hand side with his pace as Norwich look to try and come forward on the halfway line with Kraseni. They start now this second half with Vladan Kovacevic in goal after that swap at the break. A back four of Kraseni, Cordoba, McConville and Fisher, as Fisher is forced to clear that under pressure, but it's won by Leeds. Goodmanson getting on the ball. Midfield for Norwich, Field and McLean making his 300th appearance for the club today. Magoma in front of them, Ahmed and Gibbs providing the width to Kvis Gordon up front, who is the only fit striker, and we've barely seen him on the ball, Paul Robinson.
No, he's had no service. It's very, very difficult for a centre forward to have any impact on the game unless the ball's work through the channels, work through the thirds and into the position where it gives them an opportunity to score. And from Norwich City in the first half, we've seen very, very little. There's two sides you can look at it. Norwich have been poor, but then you can look at it and you say, OK, Leeds have been good. They've not allowed them to play. They've not allowed them to get any kind of grip on this game. They've had no sustained spells of possession whatsoever. Everything has been about Leeds.
It has indeed, as Leeds just win the ball. Ampadu getting a toe in before Gibbs was able to head up that right hand side, and Leeds United on course for a place in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup for the first time since the 2002-2003 season under Terry Venables. And Paul, you probably remember it well.
Well, not so much. It's 23 years ago, I think now, isn't it? An absolute dinosaur like me. That just shows how long ago it was. Said to Steve in the pre-game show, though, didn't we? I mean, when you talk about Leeds and the FA Cup and what it means, they've been focused on either staying in the Premier League or trying to get out of the Championship. It's not been a priority.
Dan James picking up right side of the penalty area, cuts back onto that right foot, tries to flick it into Pirro. It's cleared though. Longstaff will pick up the loose ball. Biol driving forward with it, uses the width of James, who drives down the right hand side, gets a good ball in, and Kovacevic out quickly to punch it, but there's been a head knock between the goalkeeper and his central defender. I think it's McConville who's gone down as well, and this will need some attention. But you were in goals for Leeds when they made it through to the quarter-final, and that last time they managed to get to that stage. I thought you would have more memories of it, no?
No, I mean, that was a difficult season again. You know, the point that I just made about trying to stay in the Premier League or get promoted from the Championship, that was obviously a very difficult time where we were trying to stay in the Premier League, and I don't think the Cup at that point was a priority.
Well, Leeds very much trying to stay in the Premier League again at the moment, 15th at the moment they are in the table, 31 points, trying to get to that magic 40. Took a little bit of a blow midweek, losing to Sunderland, and then the few teams round about them all picking up points, but you'd have to say from this performance so far here today that there will be some food for thought for Daniel Farke on going forward. But let's get an update from a game in the Championship this afternoon. QPR against Middlesbrough and Aaron Paul.
Yeah, 57 gone at QPR 0, Middlesbrough 1. David Strelek's goal still separates the two sides, and Strelek has gone closest to finding a second, bursting into the area off the left side. He shaped up his shot, he was able to get it away, but it just didn't have enough pressure on it to beat the goalkeeper. Elsewhere, Matt Targett has swung a volley left-footed at goal. That's headed wide. Otherwise, it's pretty much all Middlesbrough. They're on the hunt for a second. QPR 0, Borough 1.
Well, both players back up on their feet, so we are going to get back underway. Drop ball to Norwich, just inside their own half. Goes back to Cordoba, who launches it looking for Magoma, but Tanaka does well to get in front. Only goes out though for a Norwich throw-in. And what do you think the message will have been from Philippe Clement, because he doesn't have too many options on the bench given the injury problems that he has to change much in an attacking sense, certainly, but defensively they've looked open at times.
Defensively they've looked open, but actually they're playing against a better team, so you've got to find a way. You know, when you are the inferior team, and especially when you're going away from home, you have to find a way to affect your opposition, i.e. to affect their defensive susceptibilities and also to cause them problems, but at the same time disrupt their flow, and Norwich haven't done that.
Well, Kerseni able to drive down that left-hand side, feed it to Ahmed, but his ball to Magoma on the edge of the penalty area cut out, but McLean picks up the loose ball now, looking inside to his central midfield partner, Fields, who gets on it and drops it back to McLean under pressure. So Norwich getting bodies forward. It's slow though, the build-up. A couple of touches each time before a pass is played, and Leeds United back in their two banks of four, looking very comfortable. In fact, it's almost a back five at the moment, but Norwich will have to try and find a way to break that down all the way back with their goalkeeper now, Norwich.
They don't want this, Leeds United. They don't want it. I mean, I suspect the message from the manager Daniel Farke at half-time will have been to continue asserting your dominance, put the pressure on and go and try and get the next goal. Whereas actually we're very early in the second half, 7.5 minutes in, Leeds are actually sitting off. They're allowing Norwich possession, and the last thing that Leeds United will want, obviously, is to concede a goal at this stage. It's up to them to continue the tempo and go on and force Norwich's hand.
Well, the next goal is so vital. We've already seen a couple of Premier League sides fall to lower league opposition today in the FA Cup. Fulham going out, Sunderland going out, and Sunderland losing at League One Port Vale. But Norwich City will need to find some spark to get back into this. Gibbs with it now, an opportunity to strike, but it's high and it's wide, and it's not going to worry Lucas Perry at all in the Leeds goal, and that was an opportunity to test the goalkeeper.
53 minutes in, and that's Norwich City's best opportunity of the game. Really good play by Magoma. Ball comes into him and he just reverses it round the corner with the outside of his boot, edge of the 18-yard box, outside of his right foot, puts it into the path of Liam Gibbs. His finish wasn't great, up high over the crossbar, but better from Norwich.
Giving their supporters something to get excited about. They've seen a real upturn in form under the Belgian, been scoring goals, been keeping teams out at the back in the Championship, but not today. Leeds United twice breaching them legally, twice also hitting the back of the net for them to be disallowed. One after a VAR check for a handball in the build-up, the other offside as Sean Longstaff tries to wriggle clear of Fisher, but the Norwich fullback does well. Then Magoma looking for the run of Chris Gorton, but just not quite on the same page, and Leeds United win possession back. So Fulham losing 1-0 to Southampton earlier today. Port Vale beating Sunderland by 1-0. They join Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea and Manchester City in the quarter-finals. West Ham against Brentford, that is tomorrow night to conclude this round of FA Cup fixtures. 7:30 kick-off. You can hear that one live on Radio 5 Live. And tonight, 10:35 on BBC One, highlights of all the weekend's action. It will be 11:20 in Scotland. 10:35 is where you will get the Scottish Cup highlights. And that was certainly lively this afternoon. Celtic beating Rangers at Ibrox in a penalty shootout. St Mirren against Partick Thistle, that gets underway at 7:30. And the winner of that will join Celtic Falkirk and Dunfermline in the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup, as Gudmundsson drops the ball to Tanaka, a slip, and it goes out of play for a Norwich throw-in just down in front of us inside their own half. And Philippe Clement will be feeling a little bit happier about things at the start of this second half, Paul.
I just think they have to do things differently. They have to go more direct. They have to find a way of affecting Leeds, because at the moment it's far, far too comfortable. For the possession that they've had in this second half, Norwich, yes, there's been a slight improvement, but still territorially advantaged. They're going nowhere. And once again, they're rotating the ball through the back four, through the goalkeeper, and not causing Leeds a problem at all. Leeds are able to press high up the pitch and they win the ball back.
And when there are misplaced passes like that one from Rory McConville, it becomes easier for Leeds to win possession back. But that one loose from Ampadu, and McConville now wins possession back as Fields steps away from the challenge, plays it back to his centre-back. McConville finds Cordoba along to his left-hand side, but Norwich with the ball in areas that can't hurt Leeds, still inside their own half. Magoma trying to work it with Ahmed, gets it back, the former Brentford man, and now he plays long, looking for the run of Gibbs, who's alongside Gudmundsson. He's up against Gudmundsson, who does really, really well, and then Ampadu is able to clear it before Chris Gordon gets onto the end of the ball. But it's fallen again to Norwich feet. Kenny McLean driving forward and just looking for an option ahead of him. He's forced out to the left-hand side. Fields to Cresceni, looking for Magoma. Good feet from Magoma to keep possession. Plays it inside to McLean, driving forward, opportunity to shoot, which he does, left-footed but straight at goalkeeper Lucas Perry, who launches it down to Nmecha, who's got two Norwich players around him, but Nmecha gets on the end of it, tries to skip past McConville, dives in, and Leeds United win the throw-in, just level with Norwich's penalty area. But a good break from Norwich.
Yeah, one of his deficiencies, Lucas Perry, is his ability with his feet. I think that's probably cost him his place in the team, as well as the goals he's conceded. Carl Darlow's come in, but actually one of his advantages is distribution with his arm. I mean, that was an incredible throw. It was almost 3/4 of the length of the pitch. Straightforward shot to deal with. I mean, Norwich's first shot on target, what we waited for 57 minutes into the game. Kenny McLean straight at the goalkeeper. Very comfortable catch and well dealt with by Lucas Perry. But in turn, he stands up and he launches the ball with overarm with his right hand. Almost sets Nmecha off one-on-one.
It was an incredible throw from Perry, who has been on the bench for the last 7 league games after starting the first 13 matches of the season. Lost his place to Carl Darlow, but back in goals today, and like a lot of these Leeds United players, an opportunity to perhaps put their hand up for the remaining games in the Premier League as Leeds look to retain their status. That will be a free kick to Norwich inside their own half. An opportunity for McLean to take it over the halfway line. He just checks but waits for the movement of Magoma, which he now gets as Magoma brushes off the challenge of Tanaka, tries to skip past Justin, and now Tanaka dives in trying to win the ball, gives away the free kick. So an opportunity for Norwich, left edge of the penalty area, for them to stick the ball in the net as Tanaka gets a little talking to from the referee. I'm not sure if it was the first challenge or the second that was given for, but a yellow card for Al Tanaka.
Yeah, it's better from Magoma though. He gets the ball and his first thought is to go forward. He tries to attack the Leeds United defence. He gets in behind the midfield. James Justin is the substitute who ends up taking him down, but Norwich haven't done enough of that for me, especially in the final third. He gets round his defender, gets in between the two defenders and wins his side a free kick in what looks to be a dangerous enough area.
It was Tanaka who got the yellow card, who was involved in the first little nibble at Magoma before Justin made sure, and it will be Paris Magoma, the 24-year-old who has had a huge impact at Norwich since he arrived. It's him standing over this free kick. 2 goals in his 5 appearances so far. Got magical feet, Paris Magoma. We haven't seen much of it today, but perhaps he can create something here. Right-footed into the area. Header comes in from Cordoba, but it's gone wide. It was a dangerous ball in from that left-hand side. I think Magoma thought they should have had a corner, but goal kick given.
Super ball. Really, really good delivery inside of the right foot, whipping into the 6-yard box. Jose Cordoba, he gets in between the 2 Leeds United defenders. He gets a free enough header. Heads in his hands. He knows that he should have done better. He should have at least hit the target, but that's the threat that they have, Norwich, on from set plays.
Norwich on the ball again, coming forward, halfway line. Gibbs just wriggling away from the challenge of Longstaff. He doesn't have an option down that left hand side which he's looking for, but now he has Cresceni, the full back, plays it inside to Fields, to McLean, under pressure from Longstaff, heading towards his own goal, drops it to Cordoba. Norwich much more positive in this second half, had a few glimpses of goal, holding on to the ball well, barely strung more than 2 or 3 passes together in the first half, but they are holding on to much more possession in this second half. McLean over the halfway line, plays a ball down the line, looking for the run, but it's easily cleared up by Justin, back to his goalkeeper, who launches it into the midfield area. McLean wins the header, and now Fields. Good spell of play this for Norwich. Ahmed on that left hand side, as 3 Norwich players are preparing to come on to the field of play and try and salvage this FA Cup tie. They trail by 2-0. Magoma looking for the ball, threaded through to Chris Gordon, cut out by Tanaka, but again Norwich come forward. Magoma, edge of the area, takes the right-footed effort, and that's well stopped by Perry and held. But let's head to QPR Borough. There's been another goal, Aaron Paul,
where Middlesbrough have knocked on the door and have found themselves an opening here. Well, an opening, they found themselves a second. In fact, QPR 0, Borough 2. Really good shot towards goal by Luke Ayling, twisting, turning, sending a volley in towards goal. Clipped the crossbar, bounced out for Alan Brown to head home past the goalkeeper and put Borough in charge. QPR 0, Middlesbrough 2.
Ball over the top here, looking for Nyonto. He's won it after a little ricochet, but McConville has done well to get back and put pressure on the Italian winger. Goodmanson there though to help him out, and it's clipped out by Fisher. Leeds United throw in. They lead by 2-0, but it's been a far more competitive second half from Norwich City, who will now make those 3 changes. So coming on, Anis Ben Slimani, he will replace Liam Gibbs on the right hand side. A real threat he brings with him, the Tunisian. Also coming on will be Paris Magoma. He's making way, Paris Magoma.
I'm surprised he's coming off, Magoma. I think he's been an attacking threat for Norwich in the second half. I think everything that they've done, the possession that they've had, they've rotated it through him. His first thought was always forward. Just interested to see whether he's going to change the system or not. It's a final, well, it's not a final roll of the dice, but it's a big roll of the dice from Philippe Clement. Obviously a knockout competition, he's got to go for it. So there's 3 big changes coming up from the Norwich manager.
Yeah, Errol Mundell-Smith also coming on to field of play. He will replace Chris Gordon up front, as a number of players or a couple of players just below us break their fast. And we're ready to get back underway. Goodmanson with the ball in his hands. It will be a Leeds United throw-in, just level with the edge of the penalty area. So an opportunity for Leeds to put some pressure back on Norwich, who've started this second half positively, into Imecha, twisting but unable to get the ball clear. But Ampadu wins the header to Nyonto's feet, goes down under the challenge of Kenny McLean. Free kick, it will be to Leeds United.
It's up to Leeds now how they finish this game off. I mean, we're entering the 64th minute of the game, and Lucas Perry, the goalkeeper, he's had very little to do. He had 1 save earlier on there down to his right hand side in this second half. But it's up to Leeds United how they want this game to finish. They can make it very easy for themselves, or they can cause themselves a problem. Norwich, they've made the changes, they're going to have to go for it. They're looking like they've got 3 up front at the moment. If I was the Norwich manager, I'd go direct, try and cause Leeds a problem, do something a little bit different. The play in, they're trying to break the lines, it's not really worked. Go more direct, go straighter and see what happens.
Well, McLean twisting, looking for Mundell-Smith, who manages to skip away from Ampadu, left edge of the pitch, driving towards the penalty area. Good feet to get into the byline, cuts it across, and there comes the effort from the right hand side by Anis Ben Slimani, and it's just gone wide. The goal was gaping, tight angle, but what an opportunity for Norwich to claw one back.
Oh, it's a massive chance. That really is a huge chance for the visitors. Does so well down the left hand side. 2 substitutes combining. Mundell-Smith, he gets the wrong side of James Justin on the 6-yard line, and actually his cross is inadvertently directed inside the goalkeeper. So imagine the goalkeeper stood at the near post. He's got his right leg literally a football's width between him and the near post. The ball goes between the goalkeeper's leg and the near post, and then at the far post, Slimani, he puts it wide.
Opportunity for Leeds. Pirro driving forward at the back line into James, but a good challenge from Cresceni wins it, and Norwich looking to break again, but Tanaka does well to thwart that attack. Cresceni though gets it back. Now looking for the run of Mundell. That is cut out. We have a better game on our hands now, Paul Robinson. Leeds United still leading by 2-0, but this is a lively Norwich team in the second half.
The changes have made the difference. They had to. Philippe Clement knew that his side would have been second best the whole game. Actually, possession-wise, Leeds United will now try and kill the game. They'll try and take the sting out of the game. But Norwich are having a go.
The goals are coming thick and fast at QPR. Aaron Paul.
Yeah, Middlesbrough are going 4 points clear of Millwall in second place. It's QPR nil, Millwall 3. It's captain Hayden Hackney with the goal. And this is a sumptuous strike. First up, Riley McGree forcing a really good save out of the goalkeeper. Middlesbrough just recycling possession, and Hackney able to get it back into the middle and into the back of the net. Of some good work from Tommy Conway. It's a gorgeous curled effort. QPR nil, Borough 3.
Well, the cheers here at Ellen Road are because Norwich have won a free kick in a defensive area, but Willie Gnonto was putting real pressure on McConville. He did really, really well. The centre half, the 20-year-old Northern Irishman, saw the danger, got himself in a good position, won the ball, and then went down perhaps a little theatrically under the challenge from Gnonto.
Yeah, but Gnonto give him that opportunity. Frustrating for me when he's in that area, the central defender, he's in the corner running towards his own dead ball line. He's going nowhere. There's absolutely no need for Gnonto, one, to even make contact, but two, to make a foul.
Kenny McLean put under pressure by McConville there, but he does well in his own penalty area to feed it out to Cordoba. And now the long ball over the top, looking again for the run of Mundell. Smith headed clear, but out of play by Justin. So a Norwich throw in inside Leeds' half, and Philippe Clement is back looking more relaxed on that touchline, and the Norwich City supporters down to our right hand side certainly enjoying more of what they're seeing. Not a single shot on target or big opportunity created in the first half, and there's now been 2 shots on target, 1 big opportunity, that one where Ben Slimani's effort from a tight angle went off the post and out for a goal kick. So a livelier Norwich side, but it is going to be a free kick to Leeds United. A foul on Tanaka deep inside their own half. So Leeds leading by 2-0, 67 minutes on the clock. And Paul Robinson, these Leeds United players, they're trying to play their way into the Premier League team. These are players, the vast majority of them, who haven't had as much game time as they would like, and this second half is going to be a real big test of their mentality. Well,
Daniel Farke, as we know, he's sat in the director's box today serving his 1-game ban. The message has gone down to the bench. He's in reaction to Norwich's 3 changes. He's about to make 3 of his own.
Yeah, I can see Strike down there, Stack and Bogle as well look like they're going to be coming onto the field of play. So changes coming for Leeds United, but Norwich still putting the pressure on. Fisher out to this right hand side to Stacey, the substitute. Infield, McConville plays it up to Ben Slimani, who's come into that number 10 position. Back to Cordoba, just trying to feed it through as the challenge comes in on field, but still Norwich come away with it. Cresceni to McLean. He's got the run down the left side from Ahmed, but crosses it in himself, and it's just across the face of goal, too far ahead of Mundell Smith. He couldn't get a toe on it. A great ball across from Kenny McLean, but it goes harmlessly out for a Leeds United goal kick.
Yeah, really good ball across the 6-yard box. Once again, Norwich work it well. They get into the wide areas. Kenny McLean that time on his left foot fires it across the 6-yard box, but there's no willing runners there. And Daniel Farke, the message has gone down to the bench. He can feel that the momentum shift is maybe slightly changing. So in reaction to Philippe Clement's 3 changes, the Leeds manager's got the message down. He's going to make 3 as well.
Pascal Strike replacing Sean Longstaff, the first of them. Jayden Bogle also coming on to replace Dan James. And I can see Anton Stack down there as well, so he will be coming on as well, and he will replace Al Tanaka. So changes for Leeds United. They have a comfortable 2-0 lead, but it's been feeling less comfortable in this second half because Norwich have turned up the intensity, and Leeds United will know if they get the next goal, this game is blown wide open.
I think Daniel Farke's maybe feeling a bit like I did just before half-time. You know, coming into this game, you're thinking Leeds don't need this game. Premier League survival is a must. This is a game we could really do without. The international break coming up, could have done with a break. When actually you think, OK, look at the results that have happened today. Quarter-final of the FA Cup. Why not?
Down the right-hand side goes Mecha, the ball coming in, and it's headed clear by Stacey. It will be then won by Ben Slimani, but Leeds United pick it up again through Strike. Infield to Gnonto, little central position as he skips away from McLean. Great feet from Gnonto, and now the shot from Pirro off the top of the crossbar. He got behind that one, did Joel Pirro, and Kovacevic was scrambling as it came off the top of the bar. He must have breathed a huge sigh of relief to hear that bar shake behind him, and it will be a Leeds United corner, so he perhaps got a touch to it, Paul Robinson.
I'm just looking at the replays, I'm still not convinced he did. If I'm a goalkeeper and the referee gives a corner for that, he did, you know. What a wonderful strike that is from Joel Pirro. Inside his left boot, 25 yards out. It's got dip, it's got bend, it's got curve and pace. Goalkeeper gets a top hand onto the bar. It's a great save, it really is.
Corner comes in, but Kenny McLean's won it at the back post. Under pressure from Ampadu, though. He plays it out of the field of play in behind for a Leeds corner. He's looking for a free kick. He's not going to get one, so Leeds with another opportunity to get this ball into the mixer.
I think he's right there, Kenny McLean. I think he should have had a free kick. Obviously VAR won't interject. Corner for Leeds, such a simple outswinger. Ball goes to Kenny McLean. He's trying to shield the ball out of play. Ampadu, slightly overzealous in my opinion, looks to have fouled the Norwich captain.
Well, another opportunity. Anton Stach back on the corner kick duties. The substitute, right arm raised. Some big bodies to aim at. He looks for the run of Biol at the front post, but it's won by, I think, McConville, who's gone down. In fact, it's Fisher. Very different stature, McConville and Fisher, and it's the shorter of the two who did well and goes down under that pressure.
Do you know what? Our listeners will know exactly what I'm going to say here. When referees feel that they've got the decision wrong, when they feel that the free kick should have been awarded the other way or the corner should have been a goal kick, almost immediately the ball's kicked from the corner, he awards a defensive free kick. See it so many times. Almost as predictable as a goalkeeper going down injured these days.
What do you make of all of that? The dark arts are becoming more and more common, aren't they?
It's nothing new. Sven-Goran Eriksson told me to do it in 2006 in the World Cup. It's been in the game a long time. It's just becoming now more and more often, and more people are aware of it.
Well, Leeds United with the ball on that right touchline. Jayden Bogle just challenging for it, loses it slightly but is helped out by teammates. So Leeds United keep possession into Norwich's final third as Mecha tries to just feed it through into the feet of Gnonto, but cut out. Good feet from Kenny McLean, but he's lost the ball and Mecha takes on the effort from 20 yards or so, and that's well wide of Kovacevic's right hand post.
Well, it's a bit clunky from Leeds in the second half, isn't it? It's not as fluid as it was in the first half, but they're still very much in control of this game. Ticking now towards the 74th minute of the game. Norwich, they've made the changes. There was a little flurry, they had a little pattern of possession, one or two opportunities, but no real serious threat on the Leeds United goal.
Stacey winning the header, looking for Mundell Smith, but it's cut out and Leeds an opportunity to come forward again. Goodmanson, he's not been quite so influential in this second half as he was in the first. Plays it just into Stach, and now Ampadu racing forward. I think that ball was meant for the right hand side for Bogle, cut out by Pirro, and he lost it, but he's won it back. Centre circle for Leeds United, still they come forward. Goodmanson back to Strike, to Biol, and now it will head into the path of Justin, who drops it back to Biol. Leeds United trying to build from the back. It's Leeds United 2, Norwich City 0, and the ball over the top as Pirro races clear, but the linesman's flag goes up.
Oh, I'm not sure he was. You know, the assistant on the far side put the flag up very quickly. Normally the assistants are told to wait, aren't they, with the flag. The ball over the top. Joel Pirro on this near side. Fisher looked like he might have just played him onside. Assistant on the far side, the flag went up, so the referee had to immediately stop the game. That was close. I think he was onside, in all honesty.
Yeah, interesting to see that one back. VAR in operation in this round of the FA Cup across all fixtures. We've already had a big VAR check and call early on in the first half, as Mecha was denied a goal. Willie Gnonto challenging the goalkeeper. Ball came off his arm. It was adjudged to have been a handball, but like you said, Paul, at the time, it was pretty subjective.
And I think there was a VAR check as well for a push on Nemetja. Well, I say a VAR check, I'm not so sure how long it was checked for. I think the Leeds United fans, and going down to the press room at half-time, a lot of people felt there was a big push on Nemetja when he could have had a tap-in the 6-yard box.
Indeed, Kenny McLean playing it forward, looking for the run of Ali Ahmed, but all the way through to the goalkeeper it goes, who quickly plays it out to Bogle. Now down the right hand side with Pirro. It's 3 against 3 at the back for Norwich as Pirro comes forward into Metcha. Can he cut it back? He takes the shot on and it's saved and pushed round the side by Kovacevic. So it will be another corner for Leeds, and they've grown back into things in this second half with 75 minutes on the clock.
No, it's a good save by Kovacevic. Down the right hand side it was Bogle, I think. Ball overlapped into Nemetja. Nemetja is kind of on the angle. It's a difficult one to take. It's actually Joel Pirro who plays the ball into Nemetja, lets the ball roll across his body on the angle of the 6-yard box, strikes it first time. Good save by the goalkeeper at his near post, but it's one of those that you'd be disappointed if he'd have let it in.
Anton Stach with the corner kick from the far side, out swinger, looking for Justin, gets the header on it, Pirro gets a touch, and again Kovacevic is there to knock it out of play for another Leeds United corner. It was never really falling for Pirro, but he was in a good position, the Leeds United man.
He's a big presence, the big Bosnian goalkeeper has come on at half-time. Joel Pirro looked like he was just about to tap it into an empty net. James Justin, it is, wins the initial header. Pirro just about to go the outside of his left boot, yet the big goalkeeper dives across him and thwarts him.
Corner comes in again, out swinger from Stach, but that one cut out at the front post by Fisher, who now goes down and gets the free kick just outside the penalty area. Yeah, he's spoken a bit, Kovacevic, since his move from Sporting, about the physicality of the Championship and how he's had to adapt, particularly at set pieces, but he's looked strong today.
I think he obviously can only have the impact that he's given, the involvement in the game. It's always difficult for a goalkeeper. You can't go running around looking for work to do, but what he's had to do, I think he's done well in this second half.
You're quite happy if you've got no work to do, I imagine, as a goalkeeper?
Yeah, absolutely, depending on the level of confidence that you're in at that moment in time. You either see it some days like a golf ball or some days like a beach ball. They're very different.
Well, Norwich trying to put some pressure on Lucas Perry, who's been given the opportunity in goal for Leeds United today. Not had a huge amount to do. Down the left-hand side they come through Cordoba, edge of the area. It's deflected out to the path of Ahmed on that left touchline, who's up against Bogle. Just trying to shuffle his feet, create the opportunity to perhaps get across into the area, but Bogle holding him up at the moment, so he drops it back to Cresceni, but now it comes in. There's the touch from Stacey. It goes the wrong direction really, but does fall at the feet of McConville. So Kenny McLean now on it, midway between the halfway line and Leeds United's penalty area, drops it to McConville. Leeds United, Norwich City, being patient in their build-up, but struggling perhaps with a lack of movement and threat in behind what is now a very compact Leeds United back 7 really at the moment. They're just all back there, allowing Norwich to have the ball.
They're not hurting Leeds at the moment, Norwich, with possession in these type of areas. The Leeds United defence is set. This is all possession. It's good possession for Norwich, but it's not going anywhere, and they're ending up back at their own goalkeeper as we speak now. They've had decent possession inside Leeds' half, but it's been rotated, it's gone back, and they're back with their own goalkeeper with the ball at his feet.
Well, as Kovacevic just brings the ball out of his penalty area, let's head back to QPR Middlesbrough and Aaron Paul.
QPR 0, Borough 3 into the last 5 minutes here, but Rangers have just hit the foot of the post. Harvey Vale, right side of the pitch. He's come forward 30 yards, opened his body up, left-footed, drilled it towards goal, keeper beaten, and the ball's just clipped the bottom of the post and bounced back out with no one able to do anything with the rebound. This game, though, pretty much done. QPR 0, Middlesbrough 3.
Game done pretty much there. Game pretty much done here, unless Norwich can find some sort of spark in front of goal as the offside flag goes up against the run of Ben Slimani. Leeds United 2, Norwich City 0, and Leeds will feel that they are pretty comfortable in this game because Norwich struggling to really hurt them after that little spell they had at the start of the second half.
It's been a nothing of a second half really, hasn't it? And I think from a Leeds United point of view they'll be absolutely delighted with that, but from a Norwich point of view they haven't really caused Leeds any problems. They had 1 or 2 opportunities, balls flashing across the 6-yard box. You'd struggle really to call them half opportunities, but listen, it's the game's still there for Norwich if they want to have a go. They've got to take the chances, roll the dice. 10 minutes to go and have a go. One goal now would change the whole atmosphere of the stadium.
Well, it really would, because at the moment it's the Leeds United fans who are singing loudest.
Because they haven't had a go, in all honesty, from a Norwich City point of view. They've come here today, and the Norwich fans, if it is to stay as it is, they'll go home disappointed because they haven't had a go.
I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed with Norwich. Are you, Paul? They come with such fanfare given the form that they're on, and they have real danger players and technically gifted players in the forward areas, in the likes of Magoma and Ben Slimani and Ali Ahmed, but we haven't seen a huge amount of it today.
They've come here looking to protect weaknesses rather than to go and exploit Leeds United's weaknesses. It's been a poor showing in all honesty, after their recent form. Like you say, you look at their form, I mean, they've won 9 of the last 11 in all competition. They've pulled themselves completely away from the bottom 3. They're 11 points away from the bottom 3. 2 wins in a row, 4 wins in the last 6 league games. It's a Norwich side who you thought could come here and cause Leeds problems, and they haven't.
They've certainly been scoring goals as well. 8 in their 2 FA Cup matches that they've progressed through so far, but at the moment very much up against them if they are to progress any further. Let's head back to QPR. Aaron Paul.
It's a penalty to Middlesbrough, won by Tommy Conway and scored by Tommy Conway. Low down to the keeper's left. It's a really simple penalty, and Middlesbrough have been rampant here in West London. They've sent a message out to Mill. They're going 4 points clear of the South Londoners. QPR 0, Middlesbrough 4.
As Norwich just make another change down below us, Forson Amankwa, who has returned from injury, back on the bench today. He comes on to replace Ali Ahmed. So an opportunity for the 23-year-old Ghanaian to get some minutes in his legs. He's missed the last 16 games in all competitions through injury. Also missed the start of the season with a hamstring injury. So it's been a frustrating season for him, but back playing today and an opportunity to try and lift this game. We're into the final 9 minutes of it, so you feel like time is very much running away from Norwich City, but should they get the next goal, we could have a very interesting end to the match, Paul.
Yeah, you look at where we're sat high up here on the gantry looking down at the formation. It's noticeably different that the 2 wing backs have pushed on higher. They are going to look to press Leeds, but once again the frustrating thing from a Norwich point of view, they're 2-0 down, less than 10 minutes to go, and they're rotating the ball between goalkeeper and central defenders. Leeds are quite happy. I mean, you can probably hear the lull in the noise and from the effects mic in the background. They're trying to play out, and once again it's slow, it's pedestrian-like, and they're just not causing Leeds problems from doing it.
Now Kenny McLean eventually just having to stick his foot through the ball and launch it up the field because Norwich were beginning to get themselves in bother again, so Leeds United will have the throw in. And if you're Daniel Farke and you're looking at some of the performances from these players out there this afternoon, the likes of Mmecha, Nyonto, Dan James, players who are looking to try and get more regular game time in the Premier League, Tanaka and Longstaff as well in the midfield, has it given him food for thought, do you think?
Well, do you know what the biggest thing for Daniel Farke is? That he's almost got a fully fit squad. When you look at the changes that he's made and you look at these players, if every single one of these players was named on a Premier League team sheet, you wouldn't be surprised. So going into the final knock-ins of the Premier League season with some big games coming up for Leeds, they go to Crystal Palace next, then they're at home to Brentford. He's got the full application of his squad available to him. They're not in great form at the moment. They've only scored 1 in the last 3 games in open play. It is a bit of a struggle at the moment. They look to have pulled themselves clear, but actually now they are in a relegation fight. That's the reality of it. But he's got a fully fit squad and players that are playing well. Yeah,
Okafor, the only player currently on the treatment table. He should be back in the not too distant future as Norwich come down this left hand side. Back it goes though to Field and then Cordoba inside Leeds United's half. Norwich trying to find what would be a consolation at the very least, but perhaps a goal that could spark a dramatic comeback in the latter stages of this game. We're into the 84th minute. Leeds United 2, Norwich 0 as Leeds win it on the edge of the box, but it falls just to Kenny McLean midway between the halfway line and the edge of the penalty area. He dinks it looking to go over the top of Leeds' back line, but it's well read by Goodmanson, and now Stack gets a good foot in and Leeds United come clear. And on this left hand side, Mmecha up against Cordoba at the far post. Justin is there with his arms up in the air. He gets the ball now and he knocks it into the far post. It's Joe Pirro who had his arms raised waiting for the ball to play to him, and it was perfectly weighted into his path. United, Leeds 3, Norwich 0.
Quarter-finals of the FA Cup, Leeds United. Just had a shot on our monitors of Daniel Farke on his mobile phone, clearly down to the bench, telling them that the job's done. Make some changes, but it's a really swift piece of counter-attacking play from Leeds. Norwich had the ball deep in the Leeds United territory, but the turnover once again from Norwich is poor. Anton Stachy finally gets the ball under control. It bobbles, it bounces, but he brings it under control. Nemecha runs at the defender and he drives in field. And Joel Perreault keeps himself free as a bird in the outside of the 18-yard box on his favoured left foot. It's a simple ball rolled across the 18-yard box. Joel Perreault, really good technique, doesn't need a touch, doesn't need any time, takes it first time and he caresses it inside the bottom right-hand corner. And that is an easy task this afternoon for Leeds United. Job done.
His first goal of the season from the man who was top goal scorer in the Championship last season. He hasn't scored since April 2025, almost a year without a goal. He now is back on the score sheet as Bogo tries to race clear down the right hand side, but Cordoba over quickly to cut out any danger and then win the free kick deep inside his own half.
Really well done from Leeds, really well played in the second half. They've managed the game. They've been in full control of this game after the first 10 minutes where Norwich, they came and they showed a little bit of incentive. They pressed high, but other than that, from the 10th, 12th minute on in this game, Leeds have been in complete control. It's been a very dominant performance, and once again Daniel Farke is going to ring the changes. Another opportunity to look at the goals on the monitors in front of us, and it's Goodmanson who's coming off. He helped himself to a goal in the first half. He's been superb in the recent change of fortune for Leeds United with the change in formation, playing as a left wing back, playing as a left back today, got himself on the score sheet today.
Well, a huge cheer for Sam Byram, who makes his way onto the pitch, his 223rd appearance for the club. He's struggled for game time this season, just the one sub appearance against Arsenal, but he comes on this afternoon for the closing 4 minutes or so of this game. And then Mecha now with an opportunity to try and get on the end of a loose ball, and it's been a slack back pass there to goalkeeper Kovacevic, who manages to just clear it before Mecha gets on the end of it and would have a clear opportunity to further extend Leeds United's lead. It is 3-0, and it looks very much like Leeds United will be joining Port Vale, Southampton, Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal and Liverpool in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. Cresceni, left side for Norwich, and you can hear all around Ellen Road, it is the home fans singing. And Paul, you spoke a little bit about how this competition might not be at the forefront of Leeds United's most pressing matter, which is retaining their Premier League status, but when you're a fan of this club, you certainly want to win every game, and they'll be looking forward to a quarter-final and one game from Wembley.
Well, when you're a fan of any football team, the FA Cup's not a priority when you're trying to stay in the Premier League or trying to get promoted, whatever you're trying to do. Priorities are quite often elsewhere. But guess what? Winning the FA Cup is a priority when you look at the quarter-final, you look at the teams that are in there, and all of a sudden there's a trip to Wembley on the horizon. You know, semi-finals, a final, this wonderful competition. It's just getting its shine back for me. I love this competition. I was at Macclesfield earlier on this season, seen some wonderful upsets, seen some wonderful games, and it's the best cup competition in the world with such a history to it. And it's very special, and it gets even more special when your team gets to the quarter-final, funnily enough.
Well, certainly no upset here this afternoon. Leeds getting the job done. Middlesbrough very much got the job done at QPR. Aaron Paul.
QPR nil, Middlesbrough 4 all over here, rampant from Kim Hellberg. Side goals from Strelic, Brown, Hackney and Conway wrapping things up. Rangers could not lay a glove on their opponents, who build themselves a 4-point buffer to Millwall in third. Rangers 5 defeats in their last 8. They've been beaten here by 4-0.
Well, it's 3-0 here at Ellen Road as Leeds again put pressure on, and Mecha running at McConville. Yonto on the outside, gets past McConville, cross across, it falls to Mecha, can't get out of his feet, and then he gets the shot away and it trickles wide of the post. He's asking for a corner kick, he just couldn't get the ball out of his feet. A clear opportunity again for Lucas and Mecha.
They're having fun now, Leeds United. They are. Yonto on the left hand side. It's a decent save from the goalkeeper. Yonto gets to the byline, he cuts it back. All the goalkeeper can do is get a big palm on it, palms it to the edge of the 6-yard box, and unfortunately for Nemecha, from his point of view, ball's just slightly behind him, manages to toe poke a right foot effort, takes a deflection, goes harmlessly wide. Another picture of Daniel Farke on our screens. Quite enjoying himself up there in the hospitality, it seems, isn't it?
Sure he will. It's a lot warmer up there, surrounded by bodies, than it usually is on the touchline. A chance for Norwich. Stacey gets clear of Strike, but his shot is weak and straight at Perry. And now Leeds United looking to close this game out. We are just approaching the 90-minute mark. 3 minutes will be added. Leeds United eyeing up a quarter-final place. And when you look at the likes of Southampton and Port Vale in that quarter-final draw, which will take place tomorrow night ahead of West Ham against Brentford, that game you can listen to on Radio 5 Live, 7:30 kick-off at the London Stadium. You look at a couple of those teams, and Leeds will certainly be hoping to get a home draw. And if you can get Southampton or a Port Vale here at Ellen Road, they'll be looking at potentially a trip to Wembley, and that will certainly excite the supporters and possibly Daniel Farke as well.
I think it will, yeah, absolutely. I think you saw the way that the supporters have reacted to today. You can see the stadium's full. Another capacity crowd here at Ellen Road, and it's certainly a cup competition that Leeds United have not been involved deep in for a very, very long time, as we've discussed. And I think the thing for Leeds, momentum, winning the game, they can take that into the Premier League. But actually, what an opportunity, regardless of who you get in the quarter-final, what an opportunity to have some kind of, a good feeling. And a club the size and the stature of Leeds United, why can't they go and win the FA Cup? I mean, it's a long, long time since they have.
1972, the last time and only time Leeds United lifted the FA Cup, a 1-0 win against Arsenal. Long before your time, Paul.
Yes, yeah. Before I was even born, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's how long it's been for these Leeds United supporters. They would very much relish a trip to Wembley, and I think when you see what Crystal Palace did last season, it brings all that hope to teams who are not regularly lifting trophies, that how special those moments are. As Leeds come again on the attack, and Mitch on this left-hand side, he's got so much space in behind, but he's going to be offside on this occasion. And that attack is thwarted, and it will be a free kick to Norwich. The referee is just pointing, I'm not sure what he's pointing at the referee at the moment. Is the free kick further up? It's a free kick to Leeds.
The assistant on the far side put his flag up very quickly for the offside decision, but there's a booking as well for Kellen Fisher, the right back for Norwich City. An infringement earlier on in the play. The referee obviously allowed the play to go on, but he chose to take it back. Leeds United now have a free kick, 6 yards inside their own half of the field, and running the clock down. We're almost there, and it's a job very, very well done from Leeds United.
Yeah, it was a rugby-esque advantage, that. It felt like play had gone on for quite a long time before it was pulled back for that foul on Gnonto, that Leeds now get the opportunity to take the free kick. And talking about rugby, a big end to the Six Nations
just couldn't resist,
campaign.
Could you? Just couldn't resist. Just as the game's finishing, the last one, you had to get it in.
I've only mentioned it once so far today, but a huge end to the Six Nations campaign next weekend, and all the build-up to it on the Rugby Weekly podcast every day this week on BBC Sounds, as they build up to what will be a fascinating day. As Daniel Farke makes his way from his seat, he's seen enough. He's seen his team safely through to the quarter-finals. A comfortable victory. 3 great goals, and also 2 that were disallowed, 1 dubiously. You can take a look at that on Match of the Day tonight. The 10:35, a handball from Gnonto, and also in Mecha getting that goal. Gnonto offside as the full-time whistle goes, and there's a number of Norwich bodies fallen to their haunches. They put in a big effort, Norwich City, but ultimately they've been second best all afternoon. Leeds United denied a goal early on by Mecha, and then from that moment on it was all about the home side. Sean Longstaff with a beautiful touch and strike on the turn to put them ahead. Gudmundsson then getting his first goal from the club. Dan James with a ball across, took a deflection, and then he landed at his feet. First time effort into the bottom corner. And then towards the end of the game, Joel Pirro, lovely pass from Nmecha right into his path. First time effort into the far post. But it's been a comfortable afternoon for Leeds United. These home fans will go home happy. Food for thought perhaps as well for Daniel Farke, but ultimately their FA Cup journey continues. They are into the quarter-finals for the first time since 2003.
They were excellent today, Leeds United. They approached the game in a really good manner. The attitude, the application of the players that have come in. And we don't always get to say it, but actually the difference between the Premier League and the Championship was on show today. Norwich City, they came here 17th in the Championship, 11 points away from the bottom three. They had nothing to lose other than to come here and have a go at Leeds United today and try and get themselves through. But Leeds, with the changes that were made, they showed their Premier League quality. They were in control of this game from very early on. They got their early goal and then they were dominant. There was nothing other than a comfortable win on the cards very, very early on. I mean, to a man, the Leeds team were superb. Ampadu once again plays very, very regularly every time the manager can play him. Came on last time against Birmingham. And I just think there was a gulf in class today, and Leeds United showed that they were the Premier League class. And all of a sudden now, a game, you talk to the supporters, you talk to people in the media and the manager before the game. Premier League maybe not quite, the FA Cup maybe not quite a priority. Premier League survival is an absolute priority. All of a sudden, Leeds are in the quarter-final of an FA Cup. A massive football club like Leeds United are in the hat. Let's see what happens. I think it could be a good feeling.
They absolutely are in the hat, and there is a real feel-good around Ellen Road this afternoon, which Leeds United will look to take into their Premier League fight for survival, which begins next weekend, or continues next weekend, at Crystal Palace. For Norwich City, disappointing afternoon in the end. Ben Slimani, with their only real opportunity, has his shot from a wide angle hit the outside of the post, but really they failed to threaten and put any real pressure on their hosts. So Philippe Clement will take his side and continue the good work that he's been doing so far in the Championship. Their FA Cup journey is over because it's finished here at Ellen Road. Leeds United 3, Norwich City 0.